Stand up! I got the hiccups. New York Giant fans, what's going on, Baddog, man?
What's up, man? How you doing? Happy Friday. Excuse me, I got a case of the cough there for a second. What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. You know, Chris, normally Fridays are very happy for me. I always love Fridays, but Friday when you've been on vacation is the worst day of the weekend.
So this is I saw your community post. You're still on vacation, but this is the last day of your vacation.
Well, now that it's after 4 o'clock, I'm actually off vacation because normally I'd be home. The weekend's here. I mean, I still have a weekend, but yeah, it sucks. It went by really quick this time. Normally they don't go that quick, but I guess doing a 24-hour stream and then streaming every day since Tuesday will do that to you.
Yeah. Now you go back to the real world.
Yeah, I didn't stream Wednesday. I made 2 videos. I made 5 videos in 2 days. That's insane. I guess it's nice being on vacation there for a second.
Well, there was finally a little something to talk about, but not a ton. It's still very dead right now. It's why content's kind of been scarce because it's
hard.
You don't want to force anything when there's not much to talk about.
And there's not. No.
Yeah, we're trying to get it back up. Obviously, the Carson Wentz news came out yesterday, which is we're going to talk about. That's related to the Giants. It's in the division. And, you know, obviously we'll get into a little bit of offseason talk, but there's not a whole lot that we know right now. There hasn't been a ton of news in terms of rumors, what the New York Giants are going to do in terms of cap space. But we could speculate, and that's always fun to talk about with the subscribers on the channel. And I'm excited to jump into it, my man. But, yeah, much like you, I mean, we got hit by snow again. Not a ton, like 3 or 4 inches. I don't know how it was by you, but we keep getting hit by snow over here.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't know if you saw the post I had on Twitter. I said the mock draft experts and the meteorologists have a lot in common. They don't ever get it right. So initially up here, you know, 6 to 10, big deal, 6 to 10 inches. Who cares? 6 to 10 inches. Woo! Then it's 3 to 6 inches. It's supposed to start yesterday afternoon. Nope, never came. Well, now it's going to come Friday. It's going to go overnight. We're going to get 3 to 6. Got a half an inch. Got a half an inch of snow. Got no snow.
You're getting lucky.
Third time, Chris. The third time. The last 3 times that you guys have gotten snow, they predict a big storm. We got nothing. And I'm not complaining, but
you're getting lucky.
Yeah, well, listen. You can keep it. I get it every year. You guys can have it. you can have a winter.
We had like 2 feet like a week ago.
Well, I remember I had 3 feet earlier in the year.
Well, I can't even picture 3 feet of snow.
Yeah, you don't want to.
What do you build like?
Picture the 2 feet and add a foot.
What do you build tunnels or something? What do you like? How does that work?
You dig a tunnel and you crawl out to the road. It's a pain in the ass. I had to shovel my driveway like 3 times. I shovel it once if you get my drift. 1, 2, 3. You know, Stephen Lilly, our boy. Yeah, Brilly. Thank you for the super chat. I actually got beer tonight. He says, "Hi, you pair of grumpy old Muppets." The guys in the.
I love those guys. Those guys are like, I'm a big Muppet fan actually, but yeah, those guys were one of my favorite group of Muppets growing up as a kid. Stephen, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, good to see everybody here, guys. Thank you for being here on this lovely Friday evening. Yeah.
But yeah, figured we jump into a little bit of the Carson Wentz talk. I think we shared the same opinions. I watched your video on it, but you know, the Eagles, they had to trade the guy. We knew that he was forcing his way out of there. And, yeah, obviously, if you're an Eagles fan, you're going to be upset. Like, Philly 500, I know he's like a huge Carson Wentz guy. So, I get it. You know, if it was Eli Manning, I'd be upset too. But at the end of the day, it wasn't a good pairing. He wanted out of there. He hated the way that the Eagles treated him. I think they screwed with his head when they drafted Jalen Hurts. Maybe that says something about Wentz himself. Maybe he's weak mentally. But I think Wentz got a golden opportunity. I don't think you could – he's literally in quarterback heaven. Like, he's going to the Colts, which is where he had his most success as, you know, their head coach as his offensive coordinator, Frank Reich. They got a great offensive line. They got great weapons. They didn't give up a ton of draft capital, so I think they're going to take a receiver in the first round. It's only going to help them more. They got a really good defense. So, in terms of the fit, I think it was a win-win. I think the Colts won because they needed if he becomes Carson Wentz from 2017 and Reich could revitalize his career, all of a sudden they become – like Super Bowl favorites, like one of the 3 or 4 teams to win the Super Bowl. And the Eagles, I think, got what they could. They got a 3rd-round pick, and they got a 2nd-round pick that more than likely will be a 1st-round pick unless Wentz gets hurt. So I think it was fair value. Maybe the Colts gave up a little more than they should have based on Wentz's salary. But I think the Colts it's going to work out for the Colts. I think it's a really good fit for Indianapolis.
I completely agree. Real quick, Sox Arizona, thank you for becoming a member, brother. Appreciate it. Brilly. Sox Arizona, welcome to the Dog Pound, sir. Dog Pound members, welcome, my man. Sox Arizona. We call him Lox Arizona because great head of lettuce. The Bad Dog used to have a great head of lettuce, and I'm very disappointed in myself for not bringing down the damn old pictures or the 24-hour stream. You could have saw I used to look like the Karate Kid. Literally, I did.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
I did. I one of these days I will show it. Cody, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says, "What's up?" At this time next month, we'll have Aguilar.
Yeah, I've heard the rumors about that, Nelson Aguilar. We'll see, Cody. I don't know. I do think we're going to get him. I personally think we're not going to get the top tier wide receiver. I think we're going to, if we do sign one, which we'll see, I do think it's going to be a more cost-effective guy, but it's still possible. I talked about it in a video the other day, taking trade scenarios, but yeah, I could see Aguilar, unfortunately. I hope not, but I think they're going to go for a more cost-effective wide receiver.
To get back to Wentz real quick, yeah, when I did the video, I know Eagle fans are probably thinking, oh, Bad Dog's going to bash us and everything else, but no, I think it was a win-win. Obviously, it's just like what the Rams did with Goff. It's a salary dump, and it makes perfect sense. Like you said, it wasn't a good fit. And Carson Wentz had, when you go out and draft a guy 52nd overall, right after you sign the guy, it's like, what does that do to him? And obviously, if he's going to Indianapolis, he's going to be revitalized. He's going to be fresh. If he stays healthy, yeah, I think that he can definitely get back to the 2017 form. The kid, he's got a world of talent. He's still in his prime. So it's not like they hurt anything there. But I think it was smart on the Eagles. I really do. They're starting the rebuild now. And, Chris, I saw the tweet that you put out there by that guy that said you don't tank to move up from 9th to 6th to get a wide receiver. I believe that they're going to take Justin Fields or Trey Lance. I really do. It depends on who the Jets take.
Yeah.
You also have that North Dakota State thing
which is what he said in the tweet I posted.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do, no doubt. But I really think they're taking a quarterback. I really do.
Yeah. I had to give Jake credit for my Discord because I remember when he posted that the night of the game, everybody said he was nuts, and I was like, I got to post that on Twitter because that's a great take. Because now I completely agree with everything that he said. In retrospect, I think it's entirely possible that the Philadelphia Eagles knew that they were going to be looking to take a quarterback in this year's draft, and they were going to be looking to trade Carson Wentz. And they wanted to be able to get as high as a pick as they possibly could. And that's exactly what he said. I thought it was a great take. And I'm leaning that the Eagles are going to draft a quarterback. And they may not, but let's put it this way, Bad Dog. If they like one of these 4 quarterback prospects, I think they're going to take one.
And listen, I'm a Sooner fan. Eagle fans think I'm just hating on him. I don't like it. Did not matter where Hurts was going. I was not going to like Jalen Hurts no matter where he ended up. And I know those Eagle fans say, the one Eagle fan just being either trolling me or just being stupid, saying he's better than Trevor Lawrence. Don't be. And then Trevor Lawrence and I forgot who else he said. And I said, lay off the weed. And he said, oh, well, he had more passing yards a sophomore year than either one of those guys. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. Let me get to a few of these super chats. Nick DeWick, Brilly, thank you for super chat. I actually drinking beer tonight. Yes. That's right, beer. Last day of vacation. He says we need to get Chris to 50K. He'll do a 24-hour stream. Well, he's going to get to 50K, but he should do a 24-hour stream. They're fun. I get it. If you need to kill a couple hours from midnight to 2, I don't sleep. So I got you, buddy. You always help me out.
Maybe after the draft, and I got like a month when it's dead time. Maybe I'll do one of those for charity.
Listen, man, it's a good time to do it now. When you get all that damn snow, what the hell are you gonna do? Might as well just sit in front of the computer and talk for 24 hours. It's not even. I say this all the time. It's not even staying up, which it is difficult. But man, your voice takes a thrashing.
Oh, I know. My voice takes a thrashing when I do the Knick games. I can't because I go crazy, and I know you do too. But when I do the back-to-back Knick games, my voice is dead. I had to pass up on a Knick game because I couldn't talk. So I couldn't imagine doing a 24-hour stream. What it would do to my voice.
But I'll tell you, I think I did. I think I got warmed up with the way I do the Lakers because I scream my head off. The constant boom, shakalaka, like I wake the neighborhood up. Man,
yeah.
Enjoy that, man. Hot Nicks, Brilly, thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it. Wentz trade was good for both teams and good for the draft. I want the best old lineman available at number 11 and then go wide receiver in the second. Brilly. Well, that's a very interesting take. I'm not going to be ticked if they go lineman 11, but I would like them to get a skill position. at 11 for offense. I'm a Pitts guy. I want Kyle Pitts.
No.
Everyone's better, but if not Pitts, I want a wide receiver. We got to get Daniel Jones. I know that the offensive line was a little bit sketchy, but there was a lot going on last year, a lot of young guys. And, hey, man, I think that with a year under their belt and a training camp, I think they're only going to get better. I think they addressed that a lot last year. I'd like to see them go in a different direction this year in the draft.
Yeah. I've opened up to the possibility of taking a lineman if they fall there. Like a guy like Slater, if the right guy's not there and they're not in love with one of the wide receiver prospects. And I'm never going to be upset if you take a lineman. I think the offensive line is as important as anything on a football team. I say it all the time. And I'm not sold on Parrott yet, but I'm with you. I'm definitely leaning that. And again, this is all before free agency, before we know what happens with our team. If we get Allen Robinson, maybe my opinion changes based on who's there. I don't think we're going to. But my mindset is right now that our biggest need is a wide receiver. There's no doubt about it. We need to help out Dan Jones as much as we can. You could definitely argue by getting another tackle with too, but I think that you gotta hope that some of these guys that you've drafted, we spent a first, a third, and a fifth last year. You got to hope that some of these guys start to morph into something and you start to build continuity on the offensive line and they start to grow together. So I would love Slater. I would love to get another slam dunk tackle, but I just think it's so big of a need right now that we need to get him a legitimate threat on the outside.
Completely agree. Matthew G, I see you, buddy. He says, Baddog's so popular now it's hard to get recognized in a chat. No, I see. It's just when you have a guest, it's a little bit more difficult to get to everybody in the chat. I mean, Laker, when there's 3,000 people in Laker games, it's easy because I'm by myself. But when you're having it just gets a little bit difficult. But trust me, I see everybody in there, and I appreciate everybody being here. Trust me, it's just hard to shout everybody out when you're doing a show.
We try to say hello to all you guys.
We do. Andrew Thomas, thank you for the super chat. Really, if we get Pitts, he would be like a tight end. He would be a tight end like Vincent Jackson. R.I.P. That was crazy. He's a young man. Would you want an edge? Would you want an edge? I think he means defensive end for Sixers. I'm guessing that's edge.
I think he means Bud Dupree.
Well, yeah, you're not going to get him for 6 or 7 million.
I think he's bringing that up because of the injury. Maybe he thinks you can get him on that big of a discount.
I would go for it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you're not getting him for that.
No, I don't think so either. But yeah, I mean, I love Bud Dupree, and I see a few guys out there. I just want to say, how can I be the man when you're the man? Don't worry, that merchandise is coming soon. For those of you who don't know, I mentioned this in the Lakers stream last night. My 420 crew was not approved by YouTube guidelines. Obviously, they did not like the vegetable on the front.
That's understandable.
Well, I mean, what does it say? It's a leaf. Well, you can't have a leaf on your shirt. My God. It's a leaf. It says 420. What the hell? Something wrong with the number 420?
You could probably sell it through another. I know I saw Pizzle started selling a shirt. It's through another vendor. It's not through Teespring. Maybe you can do it that way. Well,
actually, Matthew said, do you mind if he goes, I can just put the design out there. People can put it on a shirt. I said, absolutely not. Go for it. That's fine with me. I don't mind at all. Clocks! Really, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says hypothetical. I know we all hate the Eagles, but if the Jets Cincinnati passed on Panay Sewell, if you were the GM, would you rebuild with Panay before taking a quarterback? This is a great question. I think it would be smart for the Eagles to take him, but it's hard, Clocks, because like Chris said, if you really like a quarterback, they don't always come around, and you don't know where you're drafted next year. I get what you're saying. When we took Daniel Jones, the offensive line was a disaster, and it certainly did not help him, and it did not help Barkley. So I get what you're saying. I think it's hard to pass on a quarterback when
if they really I agree with you. If they really like a quarterback, they're going to take a quarterback, in my opinion, at least. But if they're like, they're pretty good, but we could find that a guy like that next year's draft. I think the smarter move for them might very well be to take Penei Sewell. That you're a rebuilding football team right now. You have an opportunity to do what we should have done. I say it all the time. 2018, we should have traded down and then taken the offensive lineman. But you have an opportunity as a rebuilding team to get that long-term pick, that guy that's going to be your future left tackle for the next 15 years. I think that would be the appropriate pick. I know a lot of Eagles fans want the wide receiver because, don't get me wrong, Jamar Chase is great. Devontae Smith is great. Jalen Waddle's great. But if you're a rebuilding team, in my opinion, it makes a lot more sense to either go quarterback or offensive line. If I was an Eagles fan, that's all I'd want in this draft. I'd want either a quarterback if they're in love with one, or I'd want a tackle, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you could always draft the quarterback, have him sit behind Hurts for a year, then address your offensive line in next year's draft.
Yeah.
or in the free agent, because you'll have a lot more cap space now that Carson Wentz is no longer there and that contract off the book. So that's definitely something they could do as well. John Ferry, thank you for the super chat. Brilly, boys, thoughts on interest in Patrick Peterson? Too much money.
I don't want him. That's my quick response. To me, he's still pretty good, but he's a name at this point. He's a guy, if you talk to any Cardinals fan, he regressed significantly. I want younger players, and he's regressed, so no, I don't want him.
L.A. Lou, Brilly, my man. He says Rams are going to let 3 players walk: tight end Gerald Everett, wide receiver Josh Reynolds, and running back Malcolm Jenkins. Any one of these will fit with the Giants. I remember you talking about Josh Reynolds.
Yeah.
L.A. Lou, and saying that he would fit with the Giants. I've heard, speaking of tight end, I heard Hunter Henry is a guy that the Giants could pursue.
Janu Smith.
Well. Oh, what's that?
Janu Smith, too, the tight end from the Titans.
I'd rather Pitts. It's me.
I'm just saying those are the top tight ends.
No, I know. I want Kyle Pitts. I want to get, and then now there's also talk about Stephon Gilmore's a guy that I've heard.
Yeah, that would be a trade. That would be a trade, though.
Yep. I've heard about Kenny Golladay. If Detroit doesn't franchise, the Giants have a lot of interest in guys. It's gonna be very interesting in the coming weeks, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It always is when we start to get into free agency.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
You know how I know that there's literally nothing to talk about, and and there will be very soon. Don't get me wrong. March 1st, March 2nd, March 3rd. It's gonna.
Why? Because Mark Holmes does 16 Dak videos a day?
Well, no. But the Stephon Gilmore thing you brought up, the guy who started that was Alex Wilson. He brought up a hypothetical trade, the guy from Fireside Giants. He's got a pretty big Twitter following, and he just brought up a hypothetical trade, and now everybody's talking about it. Like it's being reported by the Giants. Like, no, it's a hypothetical trade. It's not. There's no validity behind this.
That happened with Obama to the Lakers. The same thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing what Twitter can do if you have a big enough following.
Yeah. It's like there's nothing.
We're going to start doing those rumors, and we're going to. DeAndre Doolin, my man. Brilly, thank you so much for the super chat. Keep up the excellent work, Baddog. I appreciate you, buddy. You know, we'll be live for the Lakers and Heat tomorrow. You ain't going to want to miss it. I know you'll be there, DeAndre, my man. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. I appreciate it. Brock, thank you for the super chat. Great Eagles fan. Brilly says, I'm going to miss Wentz. Sad days coming for us. Yeah, but you know what? They're not going to be as prolonged as they would have been had you kept Wentz.
You made the right decision, Brock, in my opinion. And it's I just don't think Wentz was going to work there. I think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he was going to work there. Yeah. Somebody
just said I'm a Coors Light type of guy in the chat. Freaking Heineken. What the hell are you talking about? Man, I don't drink no damn water. I'm a beer snob. I've said that time and time again. Heineken's about as low-end beer as I drink.
I used to like Heineken. I'm not a big fan of Heineken anymore. I used to like it.
Heineken's good, man.
Yeah.
Heineken's a good beer. Yeah.
I used to.
Demon L. Brilly, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, what up, fellers? Love the matching gray. We did not plan that.
Yeah, we did. Don't lie to him. Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Been on the road, horrible time for it, though. Hope to join everyone for the draft. Cheers. We'll be here. Are you driving in the snow? Oh, that's rough. Texas got hit with a ton of snow.
Hope you're staying safe, Damon, man. Hope you're staying safe. Glad to see you, buddy. Hope you're staying safe out there.
Driving, and that's a pain in the ass if you're a freaking driving a car, let alone a truck. I can't even imagine. JJ Stella, yeah, Stella's a good one, too. LA Lou's got to go to the bathroom.
And to go back to LA Lou's super chat about Reynolds. Yeah, I remember, I forgot who it was. I don't think it was him a couple of months ago. He's brought him up more recently. One of my subscribers brought him up a couple of months ago when I was doing a stream, and I looked into him. And yeah, he is a really good, cheap option at wide receiver if we don't get the big guys and you want to get a cost-effective depth wide receiver. He's pretty good. Tyrell Williams is the other guy I brought up that was just cut. For cheaper alternatives, if you strike out and maybe you don't feel like spending Curtis Samuel type money, maybe Samuel's going to cost more than what you're willing to spend. You get a cheaper guy and then you draft a wide receiver early in the draft. But that's the type of receiver Reynolds would be. Yeah,
I agree. Or was I just going to look here? What did I just see? Who wins the division, Eric? The Giants. Come on.
I think it's between 3 teams: Giants, Cowboys, Washington. I think the Eagles have no chance. But I
get on board of that.
Yeah, and if you have the deep, here's what I'm gonna say, and we'll see. You know, I got to see what they do. Is Leonard Williams gonna be back? Is Dalvin Tomlinson gonna be back? What are we gonna do in draft? What are we gonna do in free agency? But if they keep this defense intact for the most part, and they add a piece or two with the defense that I think the Giants are going to have next year, there's no reason to think that this team shouldn't be able to compete game in and game out. Like last year, the Giants had a top 10 defense. If you improve upon that defense, which you would only think if you keep these guys together and you get McKinney back, who didn't play last year for the most part.
He played well when he was there.
Played well when he was there. They're more acclimated to the scheme. The coaches are more acclimated to the players.
The offense is going to get better.
The offense is going to get better. You got to think the defense is only going to be better than it was last year. So if we have a top 5 defense, which we could, there's no reason to think that the Giants can't compete to win this division.
This division's not. There's nobody in this division that's head and shoulders better than we are. Every team in this division has weaknesses. It's someplace.
Yeah,
and we have a much easier schedule. I don't think that. I think that same thing. I don't think a team's going to win like 11 or 12 games. I could see a team winning 10 though. I could see us winning 10 if we have a offseason where we did last year, where we pick up the right pieces for the right prices and draft really well, draft for need, as opposed to maybe best player available, like we did last year. I do. I don't see a reason why the Giants can't win. And Chris, you and I pegged 2021 as the year that we need to win this division anyway. A couple of years ago, we said this was going to be the year, and even 5 years ago, I said it was going to take the Giants 5 years to get out of it. Well, here it is, and I do. I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I think they have a direction. And I think I think we're going to be good. I really do.
I'm going to tell you this. I think, and we did both say that, 2021. I think we would have been a year ahead of schedule had it not been for the pandemic. And injuries. But I really believe if the Giants had a full offseason with all the change they had to this team on both sides of the ball, offensive scheme, defensive scheme, no time to prepare, we would have gotten better quicker last year, and we would have won more games than we did. And we would have won the division. We would have been a year ahead of schedule. Granted, in a very bad division, but I think we probably would have won. My honest opinion, without the pandemic last year, I think the Giants win 8 games. I really do. I think we would have been a more advanced team by, say, week 4 or 5 instead of week 8. And I think we would have won. We would have won like 8 games last year, and we would have won the division.
I can definitely see that. I don't think we would have lost either one of those games at the Cowboys and Eagles earlier in the year. And that would have been the difference. I think we would have swept the division, to be completely honest. I mean, we could have anyway. Had they just made some plays. Brock, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. He says, agreed the trade was the right thing. It just sucks the way it ended. No way did I think a year ago this could happen. Well, no. I mean, they signed Wentz to a big deal. I didn't think it would happen either. Even when they drafted Hurts, I really thought that they just drafted Hurts as a backup, and I thought that they did it to get back at Dallas because Dallas took CeeDee Lamb.
That's all you could have thought. Wentz was coming off a really good year. Everybody forgets that.
4,000 yards, and no wide receiver had more than 500.
And what I think happened, my honest opinion, and last year everything went to hell for the Eagles, not just Wentz. Like, their offensive line was really bad and injuries and everything else. But I really think last year showed that Carson Wentz is weak mentally. I really believe that. I think the Eagles took that for granted. I think they said to themselves, we got a guy that's a little bit, he gets banged up a little bit. He's a franchise quarterback. We see Hurts here as a guy that can be a great backup and could step in when Wentz goes down, and maybe a guy you can use in sub packages with his speed, so on and so forth. And I don't think they even took that into consideration, or nearly as much into consideration as they should have. If we draft a quarterback in the second round, is that going to screw with our franchise quarterback's head? And I think it did.
I think it did too. Tutto azzurri, brilli. Grazie, Paisano. He says, ciao, Paisano, staying in Baddog. Please come back home to Italy and call soccer games in sub-millions guaranteed. I can't go to Italy anytime soon. And I don't
know. My man. You know.
Soccer, buddy. I don't know anything about soccer. I know about American football.
And here comes the Italian soccer player. He dribbles down the field, bibbles. He's gonna corner kick
with his hands. Can't do that. Oh, he tripped him up. That red card coming out.
There's another soccer player faking an injury for 5 minutes. Now they're celebrating a goal for 15 minutes.
Yes.
Well, okay, real quick about soccer. I'm going to tell you the one thing I can't stand about soccer, Baddog. And I'm not trying to insult Tudo. I completely respect soccer players. I think they're unbelievable athletes. Those guys don't stop at all.
God almighty, no.
The one thing I can't stand about soccer, there's no stoppage time. I mean, rather the stoppage time, that the clock doesn't stop. I don't get it. Because every time I watch a soccer game, when I watch the World Cup, the only time I watch soccer, I'll watch guys celebrate goals for 8 minutes. I'll watch guys fake injuries for 3 minutes. Like, the stoppage time never equates to the extra time that they put back on. So why don't you just do what every other sport does and stop the clock?
They must have to do it just to see how long the matches take with everything, maybe. I don't know. I honestly don't. Like I said, I don't know anything about soccer.
I don't understand that aspect of it.
I don't either. There we got time. Brilly, man. I really appreciate this. I'm going to keep saying it. Brevin Jordan in the second round. Might be early. Somebody talked about him in the third round. But, I don't know. I don't know much about Brevin Jordan. So, have to school me on that one. Not sure. Nick Young. Brilly. How about my Nets, guys? Kenny G and Pitts for me. Oh, I'm all about Kenny G and Pitts. No doubt about that. And, Nets played well last night. Lakers did not. All I can say about the Nets is this. If they do meet up with the Lakers again, you're going to see a much different Lakers team because they're going to have a center. I can guarantee you that. But I think the Nets better worry about getting out of the East. And I know they're the favorites, but
somebody said you missed the super chat, and I think I caught it. Cody Collins, I think. And by the way, somebody in the chat said you said soccer's. No, I'm not saying soccer's boring. I'm saying I just don't understand that aspect of it. But I grew up playing baseball, so I love baseball. Cody Collins said hype. Yeah, you got it. Okay.
Really says hype for tailgates this season. OG Banghole guy is there. Is he related to Cornhole guy? Thank you, Cody. I really appreciate it, my man. Now I'm I got lost in here. Brock, we got him. Tuto, we got him. Yeah, we got time, we got him. Nick Young, we got him. Shame Samuels, thank you for the super chat. My man, Brilly, brother. He says, any wide receiver free agent that's realistically available offseason we take. Why is no one talking about AJ Green? For me, AJ Green's old and injured, and I just wouldn't want AJ Green.
I'm going to look up AJ Green because so many people brought him up to me, and the guy seems to get hurt every year.
32 or 33 as well.
He's like 30. Let me see. He's going to be 33. He actually played last year. He played all 16 games for the first time. Actually, he played 16 games in 2017 also, but he only had 523 yards last year in 16 games. And I know they got other weapons there, but you're talking about a wide receiver that's 33 years old. I mean, does that really make sense? We kind of did that with Brandon Marshall, and Marshall was coming off a great year with the Jets. Green to me shows that like he's regressing. He does have an injury history. I'm not a fan.
He's too old. He's too old for me. Yeah. I wouldn't take a chance on him.
Yeah.
I just think his best years are behind him. There's a lot of miles on AJ Green.
Yeah.
For sure. AJ Green is a guy that you bring into a team that could use some depth and maybe making a run at the Super Bowl, and they could just use a third or fourth receiver. But the Giants need a number one, and I just don't think AJ Green is a number one at this juncture in his career at all. Brock, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says this is my version of a therapy session. We got you, buddy. We got you. Die-hard Giants fan, my man. Brilly, brother, thank you for the super chat. Says, I'd watch golf over soccer, and even that is pretty boring without Australian dog to make it. That's why I asked the last stream to do right in the spinach there. Well, if I should be on vacation that year. That week. I actually will be because it's always around Little Bad Dog's birthday. So sometimes it's difficult, but it's usually right there in April. So we always have Masters coverage at some point there, Die Giants. And I know if Lucas is in here, he just loves my Australian accent. Where my friends are down under, they're everywhere.
I actually don't. I don't know if Tuto's still in here because I know he's a big soccer fan, but I actually don't think soccer's boring. I just can't. I watch other sports way too much for me to even start to entertain watching it. I could watch soccer when it's a big game that I care about, which is really the World Cup. Yeah, I could get into the USA in the World Cup. I get into Italy in the World Cup. It's kind of my adopted team. They missed it this last World Cup, which is the first time in forever. I enjoy watching the World Cup when it's something that means something. I just didn't grow up playing it. I didn't grow up watching it, so I just don't get into it. But I don't think it's a boring sport.
No, I don't either. But again, like you said, it's just not a big thing over in the United States. So I think that's part of it. And yeah, I mean, I watched, and I really got back into hockey this year a lot. So really, hockey takes up a lot of time too. And I don't know. I've never gotten into it. I think it's just too much field. for me. And I just, not that hockey has a lot of high scoring stuff, but obviously the game seems to move a lot faster because the rink is so much smaller than a soccer field.
Right.
It's just, I love the penalty kicks. I think those are cool, but there's just not enough scoring in it for me, I guess. And because I really don't understand it at all, it's more difficult for me to get into something like that.
Yeah. I saw Mizrahi ask a couple of times about Von Miller. Again, another older guy. He did have a pretty good year last year, though, because I looked into him. But again, I guess it depends on how much he's going to cost. But he's old. He's another guy. How old is he? He's what, 33? Let me see. He's
and again, there's
31.
another guy, right? Melvin
32.
Melvin Ingram's another guy. He's about that age. He's probably not going to get tagged by the Chargers. That's another guy. And again, these guys are difficult, I think, for the Giants because they're not there yet. These are guys that you sign for a year or two to make a run at a Super Bowl, just depth pieces or whatever, third down pass rush specialists. And again, we're not there yet. So I don't think we're a young team and we're rebuilding. And again, you don't rebuild with 31, 32-year-old defensive ends and 32-year-old wide receivers. If you're going to do that, spend the money and get the best. The best, Jerry, the best. But that's just the way I look at it. I don't want an aging player because if we were 12-4 last year and we made it to like the NFC Championship game, I'd be all for a move like that. But
by the way, I love KP is the biggest troll of all time. He couldn't wait to say something.
Yes.
Never said that Von Miller played last year. I said, let me look how old he is. He's gonna be 32 next year.
KP says
KP can't wait to troll.
Here, is Benjamin Wynn here? Here we go. Benjamin likes when I do this, so we just do this real quick, and then we just take his mod away, and then the moderators can't. I was doing it all 24/3. But no, KP says to me on Instagram, I think I put it on Instagram or whatever it was, someplace about how Kevin Durant's not playing, and he's like, well, this game is going to be boring. No Anthony Davis. No, I said, then don't even bother showing up. And there he is in the chat. I said, what are you doing here? So you said this game it didn't end up being good anyway, but still, So moderators have at it. Yuri, thank you for the super chat. Really, if Benjamin was here, he would bust a load. Yeah, if he's released, he has ties. What do you think about Chandler Jones? Another guy that's been around quite a while, right?
Yeah. Maybe these are guys we could look at. Here's what I'm going to say. Before we even start to think about these guys, Baddog, any of these guys, Von Miller, Chandler Jones, Shaq Barrett, we got to find out if we're going to have Leonard Williams back. Because if we have Leonard Williams back, we're not signing these guys. It's not going to be in the budget. We're not signing these guys. No. Chandler's going to be 31 next year.
I'd rather have Leonard.
I just hope we get him back at a fair rate. But
what do you think is a fair rate? Somebody asked this on Instagram, and I said 4 years, $75 million.
I think that's as crazy as that sounds. Here's what I've said. I said I'd be willing to go to 20 if it's a short deal. If it's a 3-year deal, I'd be willing to give him the $20 million a year average because I say it all the time. It's about the years for me. It's not about the per year salary. If it's a 3-year contract, you can get out after 2. I'm willing to overpay him by $2 more million maybe. I think he's more like an $18 million player. I'd be scared to give him $20 million a year on a 5-year salary.
Right.
But if I get him on a 3-year salary, 20 per, as much as I may not want to do that, I'm willing to do it because it's kind of like last year. I think like when we signed Bradbury, obviously he played amazing. But when we signed Bradbury, in my head I'm like, I'm not in love with the amount of money per year. I thought that we slightly overpaid, but I said it was only a 3-year deal. So it's not that big of a deal to me. Like I would sooner overpay a little bit on the per year average for a shorter contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and that makes perfect sense because you can get out of it after 3 years, and you can do the same thing you did with Bradbury and Blake Martinez and front load the contract to get out of it after 2, if that's really what you wanted to do. So, but yeah, I'd be willing to give him 4. I'm not giving him 5. I don't want to give him 5 years. I don't want to bring him to 31. I bring him to 30, and again, I would do the same thing. I'd front load it so that you could get out after 4 years without a massive cap hit if he didn't produce. Yeah. Demon, thank you for the super chat. Really says, okay, if DJ gets his weapons on offense, what are the minimum stats he needs to achieve? Wins and stats, what is the minimum? What does he need to achieve? Demon, for me, it's not about stats. It's about the way he plays. honestly, because it's going to depend on the game plan. I'm not going to sit there and say Daniel Jones, and I'm not high on Daniel Jones right now, but I'm not going to sit there and go Daniel Jones needs to have 4,500 yards and 35 touchdowns. For me, if Daniel Jones plays solid football and makes good decisions with the football, and his role is a little bit more limited because they're handing the ball off to Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones, number one, the turnovers have to stop.
To be fair, though, they did.
They did, but I want him more. I want him to hang on the ball a little bit more. And again, those interceptions, a lot of them were not his fault.
Yeah.
But I want to see him make better decisions with the football. I want to see him throw the ball on time. So many people say, and I preach this all the time, oh, nobody's getting open. There's no separation. In the NFL, you have to throw your receivers open. What I mean by that is when the receiver's running an out, as soon as he gets to the top of his break, as soon as he gets to the top of the route, the ball needs to be thrown before he comes out of his break. As soon as he gets here, before he turns, that ball should be there so that when he turns, that ball's right there. That's how you get open in the NFL. You're not going to be wide open. This isn't the Big 12. You run down the middle of the field. So, to me, he just needs to make better decisions with the ball. I don't need him to throw for 4,000 yards. I just want to see him play better, make better decisions with the ball, and I want to see more confidence in him. And I think that if he has weapons, and I think that if he has Barkley, you will see it. He's got all the physical skills and the tools to play in the NFL. And this is why I was so high on him. But when I watched this, I started to get a little bit worried. You can't coach that. You always go back to your instincts. So.
Yeah. Like I've said a couple of times, I think Daniel Jones got better in certain areas last year, and he didn't in others. I thought, you look at his turnovers last year. He lost 6 fumbles in 2 more games. He played 14 starts in comparison to 12. The year before, he lost 11 fumbles. So the fumbles were down by 5, but I'm going to go even further into that. In 2 more games, he had 5 less fumbles. His interceptions, he had 10 interceptions in comparison.
6 of them were Evan Ingram's fault.
Yeah, in comparison to 12 the year before in 2 more games. So the turnovers, when you look at it like that, before we even dive into the turnovers, like why they happened, he had 16 turnovers in 14 starts. The year before, he had 23 turnovers in 12 starts. So the per-game average is significantly down. He went from 2 turnovers a game to basically 1, 16 and 14 games. And then when you dive into the turnovers, 1 fumble was on Gallman. He handed it off to Gallman, and Gallman fumbled it.
1 was on the reverse to Ingram.
1 was on the reverse to Ingram.
And he had a bunch of them against the Cardinals when he wasn't healthy, and Hassan Reddick had a field day.
Well, that, and then about the fumble against the Eagles that never should have happened because Ingram dropped the ball and it was essentially a Hail Mary where he got hit trying to make a play at the end. So his fumbling got much better. His interceptions was really bad at the beginning of the year, but if you look at it over his last 7 starts, I think he had a pick or 2, and they were because of Evan Ingram.
Right.
So I think he grew in that area. Now, what we need from Daniel Jones this year is to maintain that
and win
and make big plays. And I don't want to put a statistical thing on it. Like I see people all over Twitter making statistical predictions: 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns. I don't care about stats. What I want to see from Daniel Jones next year: 1, consistency; 2, not folding in the big moments, having big signature moments, game-winning drives at big spots, and beating good football teams. And that's what I want to see from Jones. I want to come out of the next year saying to myself, okay, this guy in big spots he had a couple of big moments this year. He was able to beat teams that were better than him. He had a couple of signature wins, which he really doesn't have to this point in his career. That's what I want to see. It's not the stats for me. If he throws for 3,200 yards and he has 23 touchdowns, 10 picks, limits the fumbles, but we go 9-7 and he plays good in big spots and he beats some good teams, that's what I care about more than him going out there and putting up fantasy stats.
Remember, I always say this: statistics for fantasy football and losers. Because when you win, nobody gives a damn about the statistics. And that's really the only statistic I care about is W's. And like Chris said, he needs to step up in big spots. We know he had a chance. That game against the Rams, made a terrible decision. He threw the ball. He should have ran. I mean, that was a terrible decision. And against Tampa Bay, he made a couple really bad decisions I felt cost us that game. So he's got to clean that up. To me, like Chris said, when he has a chance to win it, he needs to step up, not step down. And again, I think if he could just do it once, it'll just build more confidence. Because I've said this before, and this is why I was down on Daniel Jones this year, and I'll get to the rest of these super chats in a second. I felt like a lot of times he would drop back and I'd be like, oh God, oh God, oh God. Like every time he dropped back, I just felt like something bad was going to happen. I don't want that feeling anymore. Even his rookie year, I didn't get that. Even when he turned it over a lot, I didn't get that feeling. I felt like he just had no confidence this year. And getting hit from your blind side and learning a new system and having an inexperienced offensive line has a lot to do with that. Just show me that you can come back mentally strong and, like I said, make better decisions with the football and just show that you can step up. I want to see Daniel Jones get his confidence back. I felt like he had it his rookie season. I felt like he lost it a little bit in his sophomore season. Tutto! Really, again, grazie, paisano. He says, who directed the movie about NFL injuries? Lawrence Taylor.
Tudo, my man. I love Tudo.
Tudo's got the jokes.
Tudo's the man.
Sway Sports, really, my man. He says, opinions on Corey Davis.
I'm That's the right word. You know what? I'm okay with Corey Davis if it's the right contract and we don't get the top tier guys and as long as you still address the wide receiver position relatively early in the draft. I think he's a good number 2. I don't think he's a number 1. But he does fit our offense. I do think he's an exterior wide receiver that could have some big plays, but for the right price, yeah. But I'm not overpaying for him.
Look at KP. Can I get the mod back? Look at him. You need to become a member of the channel. No, I'm just kidding. Because everybody teases him about that. They're like, it's $3 a month. What the hell's the matter with you? There you go, KP. DJ Smooth. Thank you for the say. Is it me, Chris, or is there 2 DJ Smooths? You have the one that thinks everything's scripted. It's not the same guy. It can't be.
Yeah, no. I know this DJ Smooth. I talk to him all the time on Twitter. I know that DJ Smooth.
Okay. But
I remember I remember the other Smooth you're talking about. He was the guy that would come in a couple of years ago.
He still comes into my streams. Baddog, what are you talking about? You know it's scripted.
Yeah. The David Tyree catch was scripted.
It's all scripted. Yeah. DJ, thank you for the super chat. I mean, really says, talk about your lovely GM passing up on Josh Allen in 2018 over Barkley. But, hey, that's y'all's guy. I'd rather talk about the passing up on Josh Allen in 2019. But I'll say this, and then, Chris, you can have the floor because this is going to be quick. DJ, I say this all the time. Number 1, Josh Allen would have failed here because he would have been in the same situation as Daniel Jones. He would have been turning the ball, turning over, and handing it to Wayne Gallman with no offensive line. But I'll say this, until the day I die, I believe that Saquon Barkley was an ownership pick, not so much a Gettleman pick. Chris, you can have the floor on that. That's really all I got.
I'm going to tell him what I just said in the last stream, and everybody's entitled to their opinion, but when you get my opinion, you're going to get passion. I am sick and tired of the people that complain about the Saquon Barkley pick. I get it, okay? If we could play Monday morning GM and go back in time, we wouldn't have done it. But here's what I'm going to say. If we want to play Monday morning quarterback, and if we want to play in the game of reality, anybody that's watching this stream right now, if you're being honest with yourself, and I was one that didn't want Barkley. I wanted to trade it down. I like Barkley. I was happy when we got him. He's my favorite player. I wanted to trade down. But if you're being honest with yourself, if you didn't want Barkley, more than likely, more than half of you at least, probably 80% of you, wanted either Sam Darnold or you wanted Josh Rosen. Period. You could say now that you wanted Quentin Nelson. So how would it have looked if we took Sam Darnold? And how would it have looked if we took Josh Rosen? And I'm going to do you one better. If you wanted Quentin Nelson, which I'll be the first to say, if we were rebuilding, which we should have been, would have been the right pick. It was a long-term pick. But what I'm going to say is that people would still bitch about that. I say it all the time. If we would have taken Quentin Nelson, we still would have been a bad team. And I'm going to tell you what would have happened, Baddog. I'm going to tell you what would happen. Saquon Barkley would have went 4th to the Browns. They wouldn't have taken Denzel Ward. They would have taken Saquon Barkley. Barkley would have balled out in Cleveland. And then the people that are bitching that we took Barkley would be bitching that we didn't. That's what would have happened.
Can I tell you something? No matter what we took, if we don't win, people are going to bitch. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. If we were 10-6 this year, or 11-5, and went to the playoffs, and Barkley was healthy, all I can say is this: nobody was complaining about the Barkley pick after 2018.
Yeah,
nobody was complaining about it then. Nobody's like, "Oh, that was the wrong pick." When the guy blew it up and had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage and won Rookie of the Year, nobody was saying, "Wow, that was a stupid pick by Dave Gettleman. What an idiot! How do you take him?" Nobody was doing that. I've said before, I wanted Saquon Barkley in that draft. I did not want Darnold. I did not want a quarterback. The only quarterback I wanted was Baker Mayfield. That may be a little Sooner biased, but that was it. I wanted Saquon. And as far as Quentin Nelson, like I said, I did the video on how the Giants should trade Odell Beckham to Cleveland and get some draft picks. And I even mentioned in that video, get Quentin Nelson and draft Nick Chubb. There was a bunch of things I talked about in that video, but I certainly was not at any time on board getting a quarterback that year. And Josh Allen had a great year in Buffalo, but they were set up better than we were. And Josh Allen, let's give Daniel Jones his third year here. And let's hope Saquon Barkley stays healthy. Yeah. Saquon Barkley, when healthy, is unbelievable. He just has to stay healthy. Daniel Jones has to stay healthy. Some of that's bad luck. What can you do? Saquon Barkley didn't try to tear his ACL. That's bad luck. It happens. He needs to ball out, though, this year. There's no doubt about it. But
But here's the other thing I'm going to say, and I will readily admit, and it has nothing. It's like what I said in my Barkley video, where I got like some thumbs down more than I do in any other video because I said it was a mistake. But it's not. It wasn't a mistake because of Barkley, in my opinion. It was a mistake because where we were as a franchise, we didn't have the offensive line. We didn't have a team ready to support him. But listen, if Barkley stays healthy, wouldn't have got. You can't predict injuries. You can't. You can't fault Gettleman because Barkley got hurt. You could fault him for making the pick. We should have traded down. I'll be the first to say that, but. Barkley
maybe we needed a partner, Chris. You don't know.
And the other thing I'll say is just because it was a mistake doesn't mean you can't fix it. Doesn't mean if we fix the holes that maybe we should have tried to fix before we drafted Barkley this year and this offensive line starts to morph into something, doesn't mean that you can't have a very good football team with Saquon Barkley.
I agree. Prison Mike, thank you for the super chat. Really views on trading for Stephon Gilmore for a third-round pick. We talked about that earlier. That somebody on Twitter just kind of mentioned that and it became a thing, but it's not really.
I did a little research and nothing to the Giants. There's been rumors that the Patriots may explore potentially trading him. I mean, my thoughts is this, man. Maybe, but everybody says it's only going to be $7.5 million against the cap. He's going to want money. He's going to want an extension, and the guy's 32, I think, going on 33 years old. Yeah. Is that what you like? We saw what happened with Janoris Jenkins when he got to 32 to going on 33 years.
Who?
Yeah, Chip Fondue.
There you go.
But do we want those 32, especially at that position? Like corners, like when you lose a little step, you start to really, fall off. So I don't know. I don't know.
Eric Garrison said Saquon's vision sucks. I'll be completely honest with you, Eric. His vision needs to get better. I completely agree. He dances too much in the backfield. I say that a lot. He just needs to hit the hole and go. Get your 2 yards. He has to stop trying to make everything a home run. I agree. He needs to improve that. It used to drive me crazy with Ahmad Bradshaw at the end of his career. And Brandon Jacobs would do that too. I'm like, will you guys just go forward? Stop. I know that the offensive line was very good and there wasn't a lot of holes to run through, but sometimes you just got to lower your pads and get what you can get. You don't need – everything's not going to be a 70-yard touchdown run. And I think when you're on a bad football team, players try to do too much sometimes, and they try to put everything on themselves. And Barkley's probably like, this offense is really struggling. I got to make an 80-yard touchdown run on every play. Just like some guys, they get in a slump. In Major League Baseball, like, I got to hit a home run. My team's struggling. I got to hit a home run every time I come up. I got to hit the home run. So I think with a better offensive line, Barkley will stop. I think his vision will get better. I really do.
I completely agree about that. That take is, and that's kind of what I've said is just that. I think Barkley's a competitor, and I think Jones is kind of the same way. I feel in certain instances where I feel like he tries to do more than he should be doing. And I think it's the same thing with Barkley. And I think if you improve that offensive line, which we hope it is next year, which it got much better in terms of run blocking after he went down the second half of the season. And if they could come back and duplicate that and obviously improving the pass protection, which I think having Barkley back alone will help improve the pass protection. And not that he's a good pass protector, but the fact that you have to honor him in the backfield. And adding another wide receiver on the outside should only help it. But I think that alone, if this offensive line is improved like it was in the second half, I don't think you're going to see that much of Saquon Barkley trying to do too much. I think he's going to know, all right, let me hit the hole. I trust my offensive lineman to get that push. I can get those 4 or 5 yards if I go up the middle. I don't got to try to dance as much. So that's why I really want to get to see Barkley behind an improved offensive line.
Agreed. New York for life, my man. Brilly. Hope he's staying safe on the road. They're a big hummus guy right there. Hummus. Trade DJ to the XFL for 10 COVID vaccines and a chicken pot pie. Obviously not a big Daniel Jones fan. It's amazing how split the fan base is on Daniel Jones. It really is. And I'll say this, man. I was so high on Daniel Jones going into the year, and then I got so low. I teeter-totter with Daniel Jones so much. It's just unbelievable, man. It's like Daniel Jones and me, it's like a rocket relationship. I love her. I hate her. I love her. I hate her. I can't find a common guy. It's just like, I love you. Oh, you're a bitch. I hate your guts. Like that's me and Daniel Jones. I don't know what to say. It's like, I love this guy. God, you suck. Like I can't find an even ground. And I think it's because he is the quarterback. And so bad I want him to succeed, Chris. I don't think people understand that when I'm critical of Daniel Jones, I'm not hating him. Everyone, Online Big Blue Sports Entertainment said this best. And I completely agree with him because this is how I am. I'm not a Daniel Jones apologist. I'm not a Daniel Jones hater. I'm a Daniel Jones realist. Am I overcritical of him sometimes? Of course I am. But it's only because I want the kid to succeed so bad. And I know that if the Giants are going to be a really good team, it's because of him. And I just know that talent is there. I know it's there. And then when he doesn't perform, I'm like, it's just like a letdown. Like you're expecting this really big gift on Christmas, and you see the box, and you're like, oh my God, that's the. And then you open it up, and it's like a tie. I'm gonna get that.
I honestly think that I think people overrated Daniel Jones going into last year, and I think that it's not to say that he can't hit what the expectations were going into year 2, but I think people looked at it much like Baker Mayfield. And I compare them so much, not because of their style of play, but because of basically they went through the same thing. Their rookie year, they had a really good statistical year that I thought was a little bit misleading. Mayfield beat up on a lot of bad teams. Jones beat up on a lot of bad teams, and the expectations were raised because of that. Mayfield went into the second year, had changes, right? There was changes to the coaching staff, yada, 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 yada. He regressed. He threw like 21 touchdowns, 20 picks. He had like a 78 QB rating, and everybody was off the Baker Mayfield train. He said, this guy's done. This guy's never going to be a good quarterback. Then he gets some stability. Obviously, Stefanski coming in helped, but he gets some stability. They address the offensive line. He learns the offense. And then boom.
They didn't ask too much of him either.
They didn't ask too much of him. He played within his game, and he matured and became a better quarterback. And that's
mature. I don't know. Baker Mayfield never.
Well, not matured as a person.
I know. I was just.
Yeah. But I think that Jones could have the same effect this year. I really do. With more stability, with more talent around him, and the players around him, being used to playing with one another. And I'm going to say it like we've said all offseason. If he doesn't get it done this year, it's time to think outside the box. But I'm willing to give him that chance, and I do think he could succeed this year. I think, and I think it's almost going to play to his benefit that people are going in with lower expectations than I think they should this year. I think last year they came in with higher expectations than they should have. This year, I think they're coming in with lower expectations than they should.
I'm still going with high expectations. I really am. Especially because I know they're going to address the offense. I'm gonna go with very high expectations for him again. Yeah. Because I know physically he can do it. I know he can. He's got he throws a good deep ball. He runs very well. The Giants are going to get him out of the pocket. The Giants got to stop making him a pocket pass. Just let him be Daniel Jones. Let him be. Yuri, thank you for the super chat. Really, your favorite quote: Sam Darnold stinks. Well, I was right about that. He does. DJ Smooth, really. Listen, all I'm saying is Allen's talent is unreal, dog. Hey, DJ, nobody's going to argue with that. If anybody tries to tell you that Daniel Jones is more talented than Josh Allen, they're lying to themselves.
Oh, the quarterback? He's talking about the quarterback.
What?
You talking about the quarterback?
Yeah.
Or the edge rusher?
No, I'm guessing it's because of his last super chat. I'm guessing that it was quarterback.
But that's Monday morning quarterback, though. Nobody wanted Josh Allen.
No, he's raw. And listen, Josh Allen was not good his first 2 years in the league. Not at all. Yeah. Too many turnovers, very inaccurate. Yeah. And he had a really good year this year. Let's see if his fourth year is this good. But, yeah, he's got talent. He does play in Buffalo. Not something quite the same as New York City, but I don't know. I mean, I
say it all the time. In terms of just raw attributes, there's 2 quarterbacks in the league right now. Rodgers used to be one of them. The one I watch him play, my eyes pop out of my head. He's one of them. He's got incredible, him and Mahomes. He's got incredible arm strength. He's mobile. He can make throws that nobody else could make. But he had accuracy issues, and he was a project. It was completely understandable why teams passed up on him, and you saw that the first 2 years as to why. He matured. The Bills were patient, like Giants fans should be with Jones. Not saying Jones is going to be Josh Allen, but they were patient. They built the team the right way. They got him the pieces he needed, and year 3, you saw him take off.
The thing I'll say is this. You don't always need to have the best skills to succeed. If anybody's my age, and you go back and you look at Dan Marino's skill set as opposed to Joe Montana, You're lying if you said that Marino didn't have a better skill set than Montana. Marino was ridiculous. Marino
Rodgers. That's where the argument comes in with Rodgers and Brady. The skill, the just pure talent.
But
but there's more to it than that.
Exactly. Yo, Elvis, really, have you seen two goats? Well, that's you guys. We appreciate it, man. Thank you, buddy.
What's going on, yo, Elvis?
Nikki Sav, really, would you believe Chris dropped an F-bomb tonight? Oh, yeah. Chris
it slipped. I got too comfortable.
Believe it or not, he does get pissed off.
I got too comfortable. I got too comfortable with my surroundings, Nikki. I was like, I just cursed. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, he does get mad. That's usually my part of the show is to get pissed off and scream. But he's human. He gets mad too. He shows emotion. He breaks beer. Listen, I've never broken a beer bottle on stream in my life. He has.
I've broken headphones too on stream.
Right, he's broken stuff. I haven't. Maybe the sound barrier with a couple of my rants. But other than that, no. Meet Dorian. Really says DJ still learning to read defenses. Saquon benefited from Eli reading defenses. That is a great point, which I think I mentioned that way back when, that Eli could set up the blocking better for Saquon Barkley. And notable from that, better holes to run through. Hopefully DJ will start reading defenses. That is such a great take, and a lot of people don't think about that. And again, I believe I said that a while back because I agree. But I do think Daniel Jones is more experienced. At the end of the year, you could see Daniel Jones pointing out the defense and making audibles at the line and changing blocking schemes. So I do think that with experience, he will get that. Like I said, and I'm excited. Listen, I'm excited for 2021. I know people are like, why are you excited? The Giants suck. The Giants are terrible. We got spoiled this year, even though we were 6-10. We got spoiled because our division was so bad that we were in a division race. And it was a lot of fun. And it was very emotional, man. The highs were so high. The lows were so low. That was fun this year. We're going to get to do it again next year. But with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, let's hope they stay healthy. I'm excited. I think that they both take a massive step up, even though, like I said, I don't know about Daniel Jones's in here. Yeah. But if Daniel Jones can get this right, he's going to be great. I know this. So I would have never said that I thought he was going to be great if I didn't think he could do it. They got to stay healthy. It's a big thing with the OTAs, the mini camps, the training camp, the preseason games, everything that's going to be normalized this offseason. This New York Giants team is going to – what did Jim Fossil say, Chris? Mark my words.
Guaranteed. At 7-4, guaranteed it.
I'm guaranteeing that. Well, my guarantees don't mean anything. I'm saying I'm not guaranteeing the Giants are going to the playoffs in 2021. Mark the timestamp. Going to the playoffs in 2021. Let's go.
There you go. And I want. By the way, I meant to say it earlier when he donated. I know Nicky told me he got the virus, so I hope he's feeling better. So hopefully you're feeling better, Nicky.
Rudy T. Rudy. really, gents. Been extremely
What's up there, Rudy?
Appreciate you, Rudy. Thank you, buddy.
Love Rudy.
DJ Smooth. Again, really, man. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for the support. Really do appreciate it. He says, Joe Judge should have traded DJ and drafted Herbert in 2021. Not a freaking tackle, and y'all both know Herbert should have been here. I'm not going to lie. I wanted Herbert here. Well, didn't we go through this last week, DJ?
This is more Monday morning GM.
Chris, who's up first? What's that second?
I want everybody in the chat right now. You know, because what DJ is saying is we should have traded DJ after his rookie year. I want everybody in the chat. If you wanted to trade Daniel Jones or move on from Daniel Jones, because we can't play this game now because that's not the way it works, Baddog. The way it works is Justin Herbert was getting drafted after Daniel Jones' rookie season. Yep. So I want everybody in the chat right now, if you wanted to move on from Daniel Jones or trade Daniel Jones after his rookie year, to press 1. If you didn't, I want you to press 2, and that should solve this argument, and we shouldn't even talk about it anymore because nobody wanted to move on from Daniel Jones after his rookie season.
I did. Richard Romanoff, really, is DJ going to be like Eli this year? Need OBJ and good team play, like team, no big head win, 11-5. Watch football 65 years. If DJ can be anything like Eli as far as like his ability to win in big spots and be clutch, that's really all Daniel Jones is missing, in my opinion. And like I said, as soon as he wins a couple of these games that they've been losing, I think you're going to see confidence is such an underrated aspect of a football player, and it's in every position. You know, Evan Ingram right now, he's got no confidence, none, and you can tell. People talk. I'm going to go completely off subject here, Chris. But you tell me what you think about this. So many people are sitting there going, "Oh, Kyle Pitts is everything." I don't get the comparison. Okay, Kyle Pitts is much bigger. He did not drop one red zone pass the entire year, right? Oh, he's Evan Ingram. He's Evan Ingram. He's this. He's that. Evan Ingram is a nightmare matchup. Evan Ingram is still wide open. Evan Ingram still does everything right but catch the ball. If Evan Ingram caught the ball, he would be a ridiculous weapon. So there's no if you're comparing Kyle Pitts to Evan Ingram, all you're saying is I don't like him because Kyle Pitts is going to drop every pass like Evan Ingram. You don't know that. Kyle Pitts does not drop passes. Oh, we can't block.
I don't even think. I mean, I know they both play tight end. I know that they're mismatch nightmares. That's the book on them. But when I watch them play, I don't even think they're that similar. Like Ingram's faster. Let's start there. Ingram ran a 4.42. Pitts is more of a high 4.5s, low 4.6s guy. So in that aspect, they're not that similar. Ingram's 6'3", Pitts is 6'6". Pitts to me is more like a Burris type receiver, a guy that's going to box you out and go down and grab a contested pass.
Waller.
Yeah, Ingram's more of like a tweener. He's like he doesn't know what he is. Like he's fast enough to be like
it's like a back almost.
Yeah, he's like a tweener. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't even think they're that similar players. Really the two.
I think it's just because we're talking about taking them in the first round. I don't see the comparison.
Like for instance, like the end arounds that we give to Evan Ingram because of his speed, you wouldn't do that with a player like Kyle Pitts.
Right, exactly.
They're just different players.
And you're not going to throw a fader out to Evan Ingram in the end zone. Well, you may throw it out to Kyle Pitts or a jump ball.
Yeah.
True rap lists. Really, Letter Brother Dream, Colliday, Pitts, Shep. I'm dreaming with you, buddy, because that's my dream, except for be Robinson. But Yali Pitts, I'm all aboard. Please. Yes. I'm with you.
That's a good dream.
It definitely is. Giant steps. Really, my man. They were a super chase. If DJ struggles this year, sell the farm for Rodgers in 2022. I know Chris agrees. I don't think Chris would agree with that.
If DJ struggles this year, sell the farm for Rodgers. I love Aaron Rodgers. You know that, Baddog. He's my favorite quarterback.
He's my age.
I'm not. Yeah, he's gonna be 39 by then.
Brady's my age, but
he's gonna be 39 by then. If he was 35, I might. Not 39, but somebody's gonna do it. Somebody's gonna do it though, Baddog. Somebody is gonna sell the farm for him.
I'd rather take Russell Wilson.
Yeah, no, if you had the option, yeah. But I do think the Packers are gonna trade him. Probably after next year. I think the Packers, because you're gonna have Love.
You know where he should go?
Oh.
Dallas.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
Why? He can fail there. Why not? It'd be awesome. Joshua Martinez, thank you for the super chat. Really, should the Giants draft a running back to help Saquon Barkley? Later rounds? Yeah, I would rather draft one than sign one, to be honest with you. Wayne Gallman was drafted in the 4th round a few years back, so there's no reason to think you can't get a serviceable backup in the 4th or 5th round this year.
Yeah, that's kind of in my – unless it's a really cheap deal, like if you get this guy for $1.5 million, maybe $2 million as a backup, I'd much sooner try to find a quality running back in the 5th round, 4th round, whatever. I don't think we have a 5th round pick, so 4th round, 6th round, that you're going to pay pennies on the dollar. So I am much more in favor of drafting the running back than signing him.
No, I agree. Simon Z, thank you for the super chat. Really, quality wide receiver, running back, offensive line. Depth solves all our offensive issues except for tight end.
Quality running back, what? Well, yeah. Yeah, that would solve most issues if you had good wide receivers, a good running back, and a good offensive line. Yeah.
King Casper, thank you for the super chat, brother. Really says, I don't know why people want to get rid of Ingram. He's still a nightmare matchup. Regardless, made great catches for us. Keep him for a little. Well, they're only going to keep him for this year, and that's probably the end of it. But King, I think the reason people want to get Ingram is I just talked about how I can't like Daniel Jones makes you love him, hate him, love him, hate him. Evan Ingram's even worse because Evan Ingram has got so much God-given ability. And the easiest part of the play is the one that he doesn't complete. And it's in the worst possible spots. 3rd and 8, drops a pass. Inside the red zone, bats the ball up in the air, gets intercepted. Fumbles, down inside the red zone. It drops the pass against the Eagles. That was perfect. It's always magnified when he does something wrong. So the first thing on Giants' minds is this guy's cost us how many games? That's why people want to get rid of him. I don't think it's because they don't believe that he's a good talent. I think it's because they're sick and tired of watching him cost us games week in and week out.
Yeah.
If they draft Pitts, there's a good possibility that they trade Ingram. Would you be for that, Chris? Would you be for they're going to take Kyle Pitts at 11 and trade Evan Ingram for like a fourth rounder?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. If because Ingram's not in the long-term plans. He's just not. This is going to be his last year with the Giants, in my opinion. And then you start to question, well, maybe you could get a comp pick. But then I will say to that is, if you draft Pitts, more than likely, Evan Ingram's not going to get a ton of money as a free agent, which would mean you probably wouldn't get a great comp pick. So, no, yeah, I'd be completely fine with it. But it would add a different dynamic to the offense, like we've talked about before. If you had both of them in there for a year, I wouldn't be opposed either way. I'm completely fine with giving Evan Ingram one more year with the Giants, and then he's done. He's not coming back. But if the right deal presents itself, I'd definitely be open to trading him.
Now, if I was an Eagles fan, I would have said, let's trade Evan Ingram for like a 10, let's trade him to Dallas for number 10. Like, that's what Eagle fans think they could have done. I'm serious. They were talking about Eagle fans at 420 all day in Philadelphia.
Didn't they think they were going to get like a first-round pick for Ertz?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how about we trade him to San Francisco for their number 11 pick? What is wrong
And they thought they were going to get 2 firsts for Wentz?
Yeah, they're mad at people. You don't live in reality. I don't know. They're very passionate. They don't know shit about football. I don't know. I mean, the Eagle fans in here know. That's why they're in here, because they're smart. But the other ones are, as Crane would say, boop, 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 out there. DJ Smooth, really, Herbert isn't better. He wasn't better than Jones. Herbert. DJ, I don't know what to say anymore.
I'm just saying the hypothetical. Nobody wanted to move on from Daniel Jones at the beginning of the season. It's common sense. You don't draft a quarterback 6th overall who then goes out and throws 24 touchdowns in his rookie year, who would have broken the rookie in 12 games. Had he played 16, he would have broken the rookie touchdown record of 27 and draft another quarterback. So it's a silly hypothetical to talk about. It was never possible. It was never going to happen.
Yeah, no. Evan Ingram. Really, he's his bad dog. You've summoned the Pro Bowler, Tainah knows.
Oh, God. Technically, you are.
Tight ends in a row could be Evan Ingram and then Aaron Hernandez. Brilly, back from the grave.
Yeah.
Trade Evan Ingram for a belt and a ceiling fan.
Oh, God. That's dark humor, but I enjoy it.
Yes, that is.
That's pretty good, though. Yeah, that's pretty good, though.
It's not bad. I know what you're getting at, but I definitely need a new ceiling fan. My ceiling fan's making really weird noise when I turn. I don't know what the hell happened to that thing. I think I wear it out because I need a fan to sleep. And now I just have Alexa. Alexa, open sleep sounds, play box fan. My wife comes out, what the hell are you listening to? Well, that thing is crazy. Well, I need the fan. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have the air conditioner yet. Well, actually, I tell her to play air conditioner now. It's a lot less obnoxious than box. Anyway, way off topic there. Dire Giants fan. Really, thank you for the super chat. By the way, I know Dire Giants fan and a couple other people asked me about my members only stream. I was supposed to do that Wednesday, but my mother ended up coming over to see Little Baddog. My mother don't come over to see me. She knows me. Oh, yeah, she don't care. But she wanted to see. So she was over late, and I'm not going to be like, yo, Mom, you got to get the hell out of here because I need to do a members only stream. Because much like my wife, if I tell my mom to get the hell out from seeing her grandson, yeah, I would never do a stream again as long as I live, because I wouldn't have lived through that night. So Sunday, I'm going to do the members only stream about 10 o'clock. Just so your members know. Thank you for Dire Giants fan. He says, if Evan Ingram balls out, what are we hoping for in a trade? No chance in hell any Giants fan wants him. But the thing is, Dire Giants fan, if he balls out, this is the last year. So he'd be a free agent at the end of the year. This is his last year with the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could franchise tag him, but if he pulled out, but yeah, you would get compensated at that point. You get a 3rd-round comp pick. Yeah, if he pulled out.
Thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly. My man, he says, Chris knows I started a quarterback carousel on a shock scale, 1 to 10, 10 being the most shocking. Who would shock you most not getting quarterback via draft or free agent? The Jets, Atlanta, Washington, Panthers, Eagles, Pats, Broncos. Can you rate them?
Okay, so you Clocks, don't donate, but I want to make sure I answer this question properly. So type it in the chat. Do you mean because you're saying they don't draft a quarterback and they don't get one via free agency. I'm assuming you're going to throw a trade in there as well with the free agency. So you're saying of those teams, which would shock me the most if they go to bat with the quarterback they currently have on their roster from 1 to 10? Is that what you're asking? Because if that's what you're asking, that's how I'll answer it. But I want to make sure that's what you're saying, and then I'll answer it.
Yeah, I would say Jets in Atlanta would be number 1. Then the Eagles number 3. But I definitely think the Jets are picking second overall. Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Sam Darnold's in the last year of his rookie contract. They could probably trade Darnold to get something for him. The Jets can't go into this year with Sam Darnold. The Jets need to move on from Sam Darnold. They're not gonna pay Sam Darnold a ton of money. I think it's time to move on for him. They're picking second. You may not get that opportunity again. I think that's what the Jets are.
If that's what he meant, and I want to answer it real quick. If that's what he meant, which I'm assuming he did, the least likely, the one that would shock me the most, if they went into the season with a quarterback out of those, Patriots, I think would shock me the most. I mean, who the hell is their quarterback right now? It would be well, yeah, but isn't Newton a free agent now?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was a 1-year deal, so that would shock me the most. I would probably say that the next one that would shock me the most would probably be Washington. I don't think Alex Smith is going to be the starter there next year. As a matter of fact, I think they're going to cut him. Then third, I'd probably say the Jets. I think they're going to move on from Darnold. Then I'll probably go Panthers, Atlanta. No, I'll throw Broncos before the Panthers. Broncos, Panthers, Atlanta, and I think I got and the Eagles. But I could see all of them going to bat with another quarterback next year.
Yep. Evan Ingram, thank you for the super chat. Really says, Baddog, blame Dr. Garrett, not me. I'm goated. Well, we all blame Dr. Garrett. I mean, we all know it's everything. It's his fault. It does not matter. Some people's channels on YouTube do not succeed because of Dr. Garrett. That's a fact. Or somebody would tell you that. Anyway.
Dr. Garrett is the reason for everybody's problem.
I know. He's the reason that I'm not 6'3". It's his fault. He's the reason that I don't play basketball like Michael Jordan. I'm blaming Dr. Garrett. Dylan Edge, really, bring back Wayne Gallman. We could get a team-friendly deal? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen. This is Wayne Gallman's one opportunity to get maybe $6 or $7 million a year. You're not passing that up. And I can't blame him. You're not going to take 3 years, $10 million to play with the Giants when somebody may give you 3 years, $18 or $20 million, which I could see Wayne Gallman actually getting someplace.
I think he could, and we'll see. You know, but if you get him back on a reasonable rate, I'm all for it. But if it's $5 million a year, we can't afford it. What happened?
Uncle Lou, really. If you guys, and like I said, I don't give backhanded compliments just to anybody, man. That's the best college football video maker on YouTube. If you guys are not subscribed to Uncle Lou, please subscribe to the guy. I know a lot of you guys are in my 24-hour stream. We had Uncle Lou on at noon. He's always kind enough to come by. And he's very busy and important, like yours truly, and like Chris. We're all very busy and important people. That's a sarcastic joke that Uncle Lou says all the time. But he's always kind enough to take time out of a Saturday and come over and help me with the 24-hour stream. But seriously, man, that guy, you guys want to know about any prospect like coming out of the draft, especially somebody from Georgia, that's your guy. And Uncle Lou is fantastic. He always does. He has a morning show 4 days a week. He has a betting show on Monday nights. He has a call-in show Tuesdays and Thursdays. He does great college football videos. I mean, I swear by Uncle Lou, he's the freaking man. He says, you had a good run, sir, but Sleeta announced today that he's going to be streaming Lakers basketball game starting in 4 days, RIP. Yeah, I understand, Uncle Lou, that the 130,000 views I had on the game last night, which was a blowout, and if it wasn't, it might have been 200,000 views. I'm worried about that. Yeah. I'm
going to be honest with you. I was talking to Baddog before the stream, and he actually told me about that. And I actually told Baddog that you may want to start streaming another team. I said maybe the Hornets or
maybe the Pistons or something.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing the Lakers.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
I have to. I don't know what else to do. You know, what can I tell you? Yes, it is. Richard, thank you for the super sticker, brother. Brilly. Hey, you. I don't have glasses, but hey, you. I wish I did. Thank you for the super sticker, my man. I appreciate it. E-Boogie, Brilly. I just hope we have draft productive players, Big Blue. That's all we can hope for, buddy.
What's going on, Boogie?
That's all we can hope for, my man, and hopefully it does happen. DJ Smooth, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says, so if Jones doesn't ball out, that on Gettleman legacy, and I'm killing him for it. We should have waited. Period. Listen, again, and I'll say this till the day I die too. I don't know how much Daniel Jones was Dave Gettleman. Chris has mentioned it a bunch of times. I feel like this is Groundhog Day, Chris, with DJ Smith. I really do. Because Chris said this before. Dave Gettleman was probably one of the only GMs that would come in here knowing that they said, this is what we want to do. With Barkley. And I know that ownership had their hand in the Daniel Jones pick. I know they did.
Here's what I'm going to say. I don't know, again, Monday morning quarterback, and obviously we agree with him in that sense. We wanted Josh Allen in 2019. So we wanted them to wait for a quarterback until 2020. It didn't happen. But I agree with him. If Jones fails, Gettleman will be viewed as a failed GM, because when you draft a quarterback, regardless of what the circumstances is, that's how you're judged as a general manager. If he fails and the team fails, Gettleman's going to be viewed as a failure. So I'll agree with you on that. But I completely understand why they took a quarterback.
Yeah, I just, like I said, Chris and I didn't want Daniel. I mean, our reactions were so great they went viral. We were not happy campers. And I say it all the time, it was either the first or the second Talkin' Giants we ever did. We're at episode 110 now. Chris and I'm pretty sure we were both on board with drafting Justin Herbert. I think we mentioned in 2018 that we wanted, going into 2019, that Justin Herbert was definitely a guy that we wanted to look at. But we were assuming he was coming out of Oregon after his junior year. And I said, Teddy Bridgewater is a stopgap guy. Bring in a Justin Herbert, let him sit on the bench, and in 2020, he's your guy.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. Simon, thank you for the super chat. Brilly, Garrett is liable for the Rangers' recent struggles. Well, they did win yesterday. Big win. He is definitely the reason that Alexi Lafreniere has not been good. He's definitely the reason Alexi Lafreniere has 1 point the entire season.
Yeah, the Rangers sucked this year. I looked at the standings yesterday. They're not doing well.
They lose a lot of close games. Well, they got killed by the Devils. That was one of the worst games they played. Outside of the first game against the Islanders when they got shut out, worst game they played all year. The Rangers are like the Knicks and like the Giants, and I say it all the time. All these teams have very young cores, and they're all going in the right direction, but none of them really want to close yet. Yeah. Rangers, same thing. The Knicks, same thing. Well, they got a little bit better, but at the beginning of the year, they lost games that they kind of let go in the fourth quarter. So, it is what it is.
They're young teams.
I think that they'll be fine. I think the Rangers, the Knicks, and the Giants are all going to be really good in a couple of years. I think the Giants will be good next year. I think the Knicks and the Rangers – actually, I think the Rangers will be good. I'm not far with it. The Knicks might be really good next year. The Knicks are going to make the playoffs this year. So
I think it depends what they do in the offseason. If they could add one big piece, I think the Knicks could be
going to. As the Knicks get better, Chris, everyone's talking about nobody wants to play for the Knicks. They all went to Brooklyn. A guy like Giannis is going to end up with the Knicks. Mark my words.
If they get one big player, the Knicks will be really good. They'll be really good.
A guy like Giannis end up with the Knicks.
They need that one top 8-9 player in the league. They could be a really good team.
So not to go back to the Lakers. L.A. Lou, this is kind of going to lead into what I was going to ask you here. Brilly says, I'm not sending Sleeta a hat. Find lids in Atlanta. That's right. The Laker dog hat. So, Chris, last night, I'm doing the Lakers and Nets, and the Lakers don't play well, and of course, all the Nets fans come into the chat. They've been around forever. There's so many Nets fans.
They're huge. I lived in Brooklyn for 2 years, and I think I saw 3 Nets fans the whole time I was there.
So it's unbelievable, their fan base, and they're trying to tell me that Brooklyn's New York's team, and I don't know how many times they got to sit there and say they will never.
Brooklyn isn't Brooklyn's team. Right. I'm not even going to go the whole state of New York. The borough they play in is a Knicks borough.
I'm trying to tell them that. They don't want to listen to me.
But let's take Manhattan, Queens, Staten Island, Brooklyn, the Bronx out of it. Brooklyn isn't Brooklyn's team.
I try to tell them that, but I just thought that was funny. They're like, oh, Brooklyn's your team.
They're Brooklyn's team now, and then in 2 years,
will never be New York State. And like I said, once and the Knicks are trending in that direction. So once a guy like Giannis is there, and they do have that superstar pull, because now somebody's going to go, they're close. And I want to be the guy that brings the championship back to New York for the first time since 1973. Watch. It's coming.
Yeah.
And then I know people with the Knicks, they're going to be, 56 and 26, or they're going to be 54 and 28. Okay, Baddog, you're going to start streaming the Knicks now? No. That's Chris. I'm a Laker guy. That's just that's how it goes. I stay true to who I am. I say it all the time. The Knicks being good or bad has nothing to do with what I do with them. Nothing. It's my schedule. Can't do the Knicks. If I could do the Knicks, I would have been doing it for 2 years instead of Lakers, but I couldn't do it. Still can't. So, that's your Knicks guy. I'm a Lakers guy. You go over there, you watch the Knicks and whoever, and then when that's done, you come over to the West Coast and you watch.
And when the Knicks get good, my numbers will be higher because all the Nets fans will be Knicks fans, and then they'll come into the Knicks stream.
That's just how it goes. But it's interesting. Evan Spitzberg says I'm a real Nets fan. Thank you very much. Yeah, so you were.
No, there's that. By the way, I don't want to be slandering Nets fans. Okay, there's definitely, like every fan base, there is definitely legitimate Nets fans.
But they came from New Jersey. Like you said, it's not Brooklyn. The people in Brooklyn were Knicks fans.
The people who I view as true Nets fans
came from New Jersey.
Most of them are from New Jersey. Because if you grew up in New York before the Nets got good, nobody cared about the Knicks.
Right. So, I guess that's what I'm saying. The same thing.
Yeah.
The people that live in Brooklyn, 90% of them are already Knicks fans.
Yeah.
Yes, there's definitely Nets fans. Don't get me wrong, but to say that they're New York's team, that's just as Norman Bates would say, that's a falsity. I don't even think that's a word, but he does say that in Psycho. We all go a little mad sometimes. But yeah, if you guys have questions, shout them out in the chat. Again, kind of a dead time, but we're getting close. Free agency is about a month away, and obviously we'll have a lot to talk about then. And the draft is a couple months away, and there's 2 reasons I can't wait for that. Number one, I have a blast. Chris and I will spend about 20 hours together over the weekend, which is always fun.
I'm going to wear my pajamas to that.
You should. We'll have a pajama party. I don't wear pajamas. My pajamas are on now. They're like gym shorts and a T-shirt.
Wear a nightcap or something. Look like Burt.
I'll get buzzed on the first night.
Yeah.
Not? I'll have to take the next day off because when we did this last time, I was working from home, so I could get a little bit. So we'll do that again, but that's always fun. And I look forward to that. And the weather should be much nicer at the end of April.
Yeah.
Where can I get a wrench? I don't give out wrenches. My mods decide.
That's been a very popular.
I don't know. Guys, I don't give out mods. And if I'm just seeing you the first time, like Julius Randle, I've never seen you in the chat. I'm not just going to go, you're a mod.
Well, the thing I don't get, and the only benefit, and I appreciate my mods. I don't have many right now because I had to get rid of them again. But Dire Giants fan, Afghanistan. I have a couple of mods. I appreciate them to death because they do so much for my channel.
Yes.
But I never understood the thrill of being a mod. The benefit I see from having a mod, I suppose, is maybe you stand out a little bit more in the chat because your name's blue. But outside of that, I never saw the thrill. Like, if you're a true mod, you actually have a responsibility. If you don't have a mod, you can sit back, relax, enjoy the show.
Right.
So I never saw it. I don't get why people are obsessed with becoming mods. I never got it. But maybe I'm missing something. I
don't know. Maybe it's because they feel like they're more a part of the channel. But my mod, like you said, dude, when I'm doing Lakers games and there are legitimately 8,000 people in there, which I've had a couple of streams, like 7,500 and 8,000. And my mods, there's about 90 of them. And not all 90 are there, obviously. Maybe half are there, 45. They've got such a difficult job to do. And I trust them with my channel, obviously, because both you and I have had problems with moderators. And as I go through, I check them once in a while. And if I see guys that haven't been on my channel in a few months, I get rid of their mod. I'm just like, they don't come here. There's no reason for them to be a mod. But my moderators, I let them decide who's going to be a mod. And they don't just give them out. Like Dire Giants fan pretty much says, okay. And I trust Dire Giants fan with everything, obviously. The guy's been incredibly generous to me with everything, and I can never thank diehard Giants.
Oh yeah, no, same thing with me.
But I'm saying diehard Giants are like, okay, he kind of gets the mods together. It's like I don't have a Discord, and the reason I don't have a Discord is because I just don't have time to run a Discord. But if I did, obviously I would want all my mods in there. I'm going to look into Streamlabs. I'm going to get some commands and stuff. But these guys always put in the disclaimer: can't show the game. No, no spamming. No this, no that. And Baddog's he's a Knicks fan, but he does the Lakers because he wants to spend time with his family. There's a lot of things that they go through. But Dire Giants, they decide they're going to vote on who becomes moderator. And it's not easy. Dire Giants fan, I think he said the next time that they're going to vote on a mod is preseason football. So
Yeah.
it's not something that's just given to everybody in the chat.
And that was a mistake I made when I first started. I was too nice.
Same
I handed out way too many.
Same.
And I'm going to talk to my member stream is going to be Monday. You were mentioning yours. Mine's going to be Monday. And in that member stream, I'm going to talk with you guys. But I guess you guys give me suggestions on how you want to handle that. But yeah, just so you know, it's always something like they give me the mod. I mean, I can't every time I do it, people get blocked on my channel. So you can't have too many of them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Zuhaib, thank you for the super chat, my man. Brilly, brother. Thank you so much. His offensive playmakers are easy to find, easy to draft, and then find in free agency. I think it would benefit to address another hole on the roster and find a playmaker in the draft in position their Giants are in. I agree. You don't want to pay. I mean, if you can avoid paying massive money for one, yes. But Zuhaib, I'm all for doing it in both. I think the Giants offense needs to be addressed. And I think the only way that you can get a legitimately really good receiver, and what I want as a tight end, is by signing one and drafting one. But listen, if the Giants don't take Pitts and they go Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle, I'm not thinking Jamar Chase is going to fall to 11. But if they do that, I'm fine. But then again, last year, everybody thought these receivers were going to go really early, and I think Jerry Jeudy was the first off the board at 12, if I'm not mistaken. So, or not, was it Jeudy or was it Ruggs?
What I'll say, Ruggs was the first one off.
Okay, so it was Ruggs and then Jeudy. They went like back to back.
But what I'll say to that, and I'd like to pull up the list, and I'm gonna, of first round wide receivers taken in drafts. If you look at them, I'll try to find it, but they're almost all failures. They're almost all not all. I don't know if failure is the right word, but they're almost all letdowns. And I'm not saying that that's going to be the case here with these guys, but if you look at the list, it's like, here, I'm going to give you a list right now. Here we go. 2019, there were 2 first-round wide receivers. Marquise Hollywood-Brown, I wouldn't say he's been a hit. He's been okay.
He's back end of the first round.
Yeah, 25th. N'Keal Harry, bust, right? He was the last pick of the first round. He's done nothing with New England. DJ Moore, good pick in 2018, 24th overall. Calvin Ridley, good pick in 2018. Corey Davis, 5th overall, not worth it to me. 5th overall, not worth it to me. Mike Williams has been good, but was he worth the 7th overall pick?
Nope.
I don't know. John Ross, complete bust, 9th overall.
Speed.
Corey Coleman, complete bust, 15th overall.
Josh Doxson, same draft, right?
Josh Doxson, 22nd overall, complete bust. Laquan Treadwell, same draft, 23 overall, complete bust. Will Fuller,
Shepard's better than all those, and Sterling Shepard's drafted in the second round.
Second round, yeah. Will Fuller's been good, but injuries, so I don't know if he was warranted the 21st overall pick. Amari Cooper, really good, and I could even still argue he may not have been worthy of the 4th overall pick, but still a great, borderline great wide receiver.
Desmond Howard getting picked 4th overall by the Washington Redskins, and he was a bust.
Yeah. Kevin White, 7th overall.
Bust.
Complete bust.
Speed.
So, you know, and this isn't me nitpicking. This is me I literally just went over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, the last 13 first-round wide receivers, excluding last year's draft. And we said maybe 2.
What conclusion I come to by listening to that? Kyle Pitts.
But then you can do the same thing with the tight ends.
I know you can. I know you can. It's a crapshoot. It really is. But a lot of those guys mentioned injuries. Kevin White was injured a lot. But a lot of those guys mentioned speed. It's amazing what speed. It's like I say it all the time. People too much. There's no combine this year. People put so much stock into wide receiver speed. You know, somebody's telling me, Kyle Pitts only runs like a high. You know, he's in the 4.6s. But speed isn't everything. What the hell is Travis Kelce's 40? Yeah. What was Jerry Rice's 40? 4.6?
Antonio Brown didn't have a great 40. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Larry Fitzgerald, I would assume, didn't have a phenomenal 40. I don't remember. But.
Route running is the most important. Route running, catch radius, hands. Those are more important than speed any day. Give me a receiver that can catch a 15-yard out on 3rd and 11 over a guy that can't catch it and can run fast. Because if he can't get open, if he can't run around, if his routes aren't crisp or he has no hands, his speed is completely useless if you can't get the ball to him.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Tavon Austin's another one. You want to talk about a freaking bust? Tavon Austin was drafted, what, 9th overall by the Rams? That was a complete bust.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of them.
You could find good ones. Like if I keep going, Rashard Perriman, another bust. Philip Dorsett, another bust. Sammy Watkins, 4th overall, that's a bust.
Yeah.
Mike Evans, probably worthy, but still 7th is high, but probably worthy of that pick. Odell Beckham, obviously worthy of the pick at 12th overall. Brandon Cooks, I would say, is probably worthy of the 20th overall pick. Kelvin Benjamin, ate too many hamburgers, complete bust. Tavon Austin, like you said, complete bust. DeAndre Hopkins, obviously worthy. Cordell Patterson, bust. Justin Blackman, bust. Michael Floyd, bust. Kendall Wright, bust. A.J. Jenkins, bust. So most of them are busts. First-round wide receivers. Yeah.
Jalen Reagor, bust. Let's just throw him in there.
Yeah.
Bust. Nelson Aguilar, bust.
Yeah. Yeah, I said him, actually, I think. But, yeah, okay. Maybe I just skipped him by accident.
Well,
yeah.
If you didn't say, or if you did say him, I just wanted to point that out because, again, it's an Eagle. Not a couple times that they don't know what the hell they're doing. Maybe they'll take Jamar Chase at 6 and he'll suck. That'd be awesome. I'd love it. Meet Tarhan. Brilly, my man says, do you guys know if NFL players are going to have a choice to sit out again because of COVID? High risk guys. I don't. It's a good question. I doubt they would. I doubt it.
I mean, I think it depends. I think that's a possible answer right now because we don't know what the condition of the virus is going to be in September.
It's going to be better. Let's think positive.
Hopefully, yeah, you would think. Yeah, but that it's. I think it's too hard to answer that right now.
Where are we? Owen Goodrich, man. Thank you for the super chat, my man. Brilly, brother says, do you think the Colts would try to finesse a way where they play Carson with 70% of the time of snaps so they don't have to give up a first round? No, the Colts are going to.
Yeah, I think that's just getting way too cute. You play to win.
Colts don't. I'm going to say this: the Colts don't give a shit about the Eagles getting their first round pick. The Colts, that's not going to be a high. It's going to be a back of the end first round anyway, because the Colts are trying to win a Super Bowl and they're close. So if the Colts win a Super Bowl, they're not going to give a damn about giving up the 32nd pick in the draft.
That's the thing. Like the Colts, that's why they made the trade and why they were willing to do that. They said to themselves, I think that's why the Colts were willing to do that, because they said to themselves, if Wentz plays over 75% of the snaps, we legitimately feel like we're going to be able to compete for a Super Bowl. And even if we fall short, we're going to be picking in the 27 to 32 range. We're okay with that. We'll be willing to give up a back-end first-round pick to be able to acquire Carson Wentz. So that's the line of thing.
Speed is crucial for wide receiver. No, it's not. Speed is not crucial. It's nice to have. It's not crucial. What is CeeDee Lamb's 40? It's not as fast as Henry Ruggs. CeeDee Lamb's a way better receiver than him.
You need speed, but I think what Baddog's trying to say is you don't need otherworldly speed.
You don't need top-level speed.
To be
you don't need to run a 4.3. Darius Hayward.
It's kind of like arm strength.
Where was Darius Hayward Bay picked?
Yeah.
It's another first-round pick, right?
Yeah.
What about Charles? All those guys that the Lions took, Charles Rogers, Roy Williams, Mike Williams, how many years in a row before they went 0-16 and got Calvin Johnson as the one good guy they had out of 4 times?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys are
not crucial. It helps. It's not crucial. Route running is the most important thing in the NFL. Your route running. You run a 4.2 like John Ross. John Ross ran a 4.22. The dude's nobody. Yeah. Corey Cole ran a 4.3. The dude's nobody. They don't matter.
And I'm going to do you one better, Bad, though, because I'm looking at this list. I'm going to tell you wide receivers just drafted exclusively in the top 10. Okay? Travis Taylor in 2000 was the 10th overall pick. I don't even know who that is.
Viking?
He was drafted by Baltimore. Plaxico Burress was the 8th overall pick in 2000. Peter Warwick, I remember him in college. He did not.
Florida State?
Yeah, he did nothing in the pros. He was the 4th overall pick. Corin Robinson in 2001 was the 9th overall pick. He did nothing. David Terrell, complete bust. Remember him with the Bears? He was only in the league. I do. He was only in the league for 4 years. That's a top 10 pick. Andre Johnson, obviously a hit, 3rd overall pick. Charles Rogers was the 2nd overall pick.
Trash.
Complete bust.
That's how you go 0-16, Chris, like that.
Reggie Williams was the 9th overall pick. Complete bust to Jacksonville. Roy Williams, complete bust. Was the 7th overall pick to Detroit. He was a complete bust.
Yeah.
Fitzgerald, obviously a hit. Mike Williams, a complete bust to the Lions. He had a bust. Troy Williamson, complete bust, 7th overall pick. Yeah, Viking. Braylon Edwards, 3rd overall pick. I would definitely not worthy of the 3rd overall pick.
Third overall pick, no.
Yeah. Ted Ginn, not worthy of a top 10 pick.
Hell no.
Nice player. Calvin Johnson, obviously. So we've had like 3 hits in that were top 10 wide receivers. Darius Hayward-Bay, complete bust. Crabtree, nice receiver, not worthy of a top 10 pick in my opinion. Julio Jones, great. AJ Green, great. So there's a couple, but you listen to all the busts that were top 10 picks, and it is far from a slam dunk. If you take a wide receiver, they're a slam dunk great player.
Once again, conclusion. Kyle Pitts. Yeah. Simon Z, Brilly, he says, I didn't miss anybody before him. I just, oops, I did. I'll go back to that, Justin. He says, if you could introduce Chris to Ivana Alawi yet, I don't think I have. I don't know if Chris has been in a Lakers stream, but yes, the lovely Ivana Alawi.
Oh, no, I pop in there every now and again. It's the hot Asian.
He knows.
It's the hot Asian. I don't even bother to type when I'm in there because there's 4,000 people in there.
Yeah, well, listen, I see everybody that's in there.
No, I don't. I watch every now and again, but I don't type because there's literally like 3,000. I can't.
I would see you. I mean, I see everybody. I've not formally introduced him to the lovely Ivana Alawi.
Next time I'll type.
I love when people like, is that your girl? I'm like, so she's my co-host. You don't mix business and pleasure, people. Justin Humner, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. Call me crazy. I love Darisaw at 11. Great fit. Don't know much about it. He'll be completely honest.
He's moving up a lot. But no, I'm not. I'm okay if we trade down and take a tackle. I'm not. It depends what we do in free agency. I want to continue to say that.
Yeah, that's gonna matter. Abe Froman, the sausage king of Chicago. Really, Chicago. The sausage king of Chicago. I can't do a Chicago accent. Brilly says, dogs or anybody you like over Pitts, or are you completely sold? If so, who would it be and why? I'm completely sold on Pitts. I am of the advocate that the New York Giants miss that time. Since I was growing up, man, you talk about Bavaro, you talk about Shockey, you talk about Howard Cross. Derek Brown was a bust for us out of Notre Dame, but you talk about even Martellus Bennett was really good when he was here. Larry Donnell, Jake Ballard. Even guys that were really good tight ends had big years here. I just think Kyle Pitts is such a difference maker in the red zone. As much as I like Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith, and if they went that route, I'm not going to be upset. I'd be happy with either one of those guys. They're not big red zone targets. I am so fixated on finally having the Plexico burst, even though he plays tight end, for Daniel Jones, the big target. And if they can get Kenny Golladay, which – I mean, that's stretching it. But there is rumors that the Giants are very interested in him if the Lions do not tag him. If you had a 6'4 receiver with a 6'6 tight end in the red zone, you're going to see a monumental improvement just with the size alone. And then with Evan Ingram there, I just sit there and think to myself, my God, what the Giants could do with Kyle Pitts and the number one wide receiver to go with Evan Ingram and Saquon Barkley, the offense could be so scary. That's why I love Kyle Pitts. I just love that big tight end. I look at the guys like Travis Kelce, Zach Ertz, Waller out of Vegas. These guys are such good tight ends. Pitts could be that guy. He don't need to run a 4.42 like Ingram. I love the possibility of that guy just sitting down in the red zone or running fades or whatever. I'm sold on Pitts. I just love what the offense could be with Kyle Pitts.
I like Pitts. I'd be okay if we took Pitts. I like Pitts.
It will not be the Pitts if we take Pitts.
Yeah. I'm not going to cry if we take Pitts. He's definitely a guy that's going to help the offense.
Max Webster, thank you for the super chat. My man, Brilly brother, says, shout out to both y'all. Love the content. Chris, the hub just ended. Baddog, I hit you up on Twitter. Chris, we'll have to set up a time and date. Max, I will check out the Twitter when I get a chance.
Yeah, Max, just let me know whenever you want me to pop on. I'll pop on.
Gotcha. Oh, that's right. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Let's go. Pitts will be a bust. Book it there. Oh, Evan Ingram says Pitts will be a bust.
Of course, Evan Ingram.
Well, maybe you'll get better if you have a little. There's nothing wrong with a little healthy competition. JJ says, who's going to throw to Pitts? Daniel Jones. I mean, Daniel Jones throws it to Ingram just fine. Evan Ingram just doesn't complete it.
It's not going to be Colt McCoy. Who do you think it's going to be?
Alex Tanney? Jacoby Brissett?
Tanney's with the Eagles now. He's a coach.
Oh, that's right.
Sirianni hired him as like a consultant or something.
Joking around. What was I going to ask you about the
I see Roldy's in here. What's up, Roldy?
Roldy, what's going on, my man? Always good to see you.
What were you going to ask me?
I can't remember. It was something about the backup quarterback.
Oh
Who
yeah.
do you think they're going to bring back? Who do you think they're going to bring in here?
I mean, I've said countless times I'd love it to be Brissett, but I don't know if he's going to fit the budget. I think he's a perfect fit for the reasons I've said. He's played with Shaplinski before. He's played with Judge before. You got the connections there. I think he's a perfect backup. Smart guy. I think he'd be great, but I just don't. I feel like he's going to get more money than what the Giants are willing to give for a backup quarterback.
Tom's World, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly, Golly to the Colts. I don't know what their cap situation is, but I mean, they
got a ton of cap.
It'd be a nice fit.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. It'd be a really nice fit for them.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna look that up, but yeah, I'm pretty. I think they have the most, or if not the most, one of the most.
What? Someone said, can we re-sign Pat Omame? Yeah, definitely. What I wanted to read. Something.
Actually, they don't have the I think their cap went down a little bit because of the trade they just made. They still have the fourth most. They got $53 million.
What did I want to read there? I do not remember it. Is Kyle Pitts the next Baddog? Oh, one can only hope. There's only one Baddog. Actually, there's two. I made one about 4 years ago. God, he's going to be 4. It doesn't even register, man. That kid is so tall too. He eats like a damn horse. My kid is such a smartass. I have no idea where he got that from. Must have got that from his mother. I'm certainly not smartass. He's such a smart. He cracks me up. He is a pisser, my kid. God help the world. I made another one of me. So 20 years from now, you're going to see another guy screaming at whoever the Giants drafted in the first round. I missed. There was a comment I wanted to read, and I don't remember what it was. That's part of old age. Zuhaib, thank you for the super chat, my man. Brilliant. Let's play a scenario, y'all. If the offensive playmakers are off the board by 11, I could see us trading with the Patriots. I wouldn't mind trading the pick within the top 20 in that case. I mean, listen, if the Giants aren't sold at a guy at 11, and they could trade back and get more draft capital because we don't have a lot of draft capital, I'm fine with that. And the reason I say I'm fine with that, Zuhaib, is because I was all aboard winning the division and picking 19th, if that's where Washington's picking. I said to me, there's not that big of a difference between 19th and 11th. There really isn't. So to me, you can get whatever position you wanted at 19 and 11, and you would get extra draft picks at 20. I would certainly be on board for that. If the Giants didn't like anyone at 11 and could get an extra second-round pick, or I don't know if they could get a first, but if they could get an extra second or a second and a third, I would definitely do it. I know what I want to say, Chris. Speaking of third, somebody put, "If God, please get Creed in the second round." Creed might fall to the third round.
That would be a dream come true.
And I'm a great
for anybody, it should be. He's a good center.
I'm a big Creed Humphrey guy. Everybody knows
that. As far as his question about the trade down, the one thing I'm going to say is Zahaib. I don't think it's going to happen. Because I'll talk to you about the possibilities, but first off, Gettleman's never traded down. Secondly, I think that there's going to be somebody that's really good that's there at 11. There's just too many potential options, whether it's Pitts, whether it's Surtain, whether it's Waddle, whether it's Chase, whether it's Smith, whether it's Parsons. There's too much talent. One of those guys is going to fall. I think the Giants are going to want him. But the only way where I could see the Giants even having the potential to trade down where it would be worth it for them is if one of the top 4 quarterbacks fell to 11. Mm-hmm. If all 4 quarterbacks are gone, I don't see anybody trading up for Mac Jones. And that's where you would get a dramatic value if you're trading down. So, but the teams where it could make sense, you got to look for quarterback needy teams. The Bears, as of now, at 20. The Patriots, as of now, at 15. And
Washington.
but
I don't think they trade with us, but Washington.
But I don't think they, like you said, I don't think the Giants are going to voluntarily be like, oh yeah, let's help them get their quarterback. True. So I think it would either be, if it's going to trade down, it would be 15 or 20. I think those are the most logical spots: Patriots or the Bears.
Nick DeWick knew I was reading his comment. He said, "I saw that smart Baddog." He said, "Could we not KP out again?" I don't know, Nick. This is how good my mods are. I smirk, and Nick DeWick knew it because I was reading his comment about time and KP up. That is how good my moderators are, right there. That shows you they're there all the time. That's how good I smirk. There's almost 400 people in here. So again, guys, thank you so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. You guys are the best. and I should have said this, I didn't even think about it, because most of you probably are subscribed to Chris, but if you are not subscribed to the Up Tainah Talkin Sports, link is in the description to his channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to him. We do this we do this show every week. We alternate channels, and we also stream the draft together. We stream every football game, every Giants football game together. So we're kind of a package deal. So if you guys, we're not. He does Knicks games, I do Lakers games, but for football, we're pretty much
we work together all the time.
All the time. And I'm not gonna lie.
We know our bathroom habits.
We do. It's pretty crazy. Then I spend more time with him than I do my wife on draft weekend. So and she's happy about that. But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, definitely subscribe to Chris. Links in the description. You guys will not regret it. Abe Froman, Brilly, love the comment. Got to get to the red zone first. By Kyle Pitts. Chris, who's your pick at 11?
It depends who's there. I keep saying it, but and it depends on what we do in free agency. But all those players I named, I'm gonna be happy if we get them. But if I had my choice in a miraculous, I don't think it's gonna happen. If you ask me, is there a possibility if certain things happen? Sure, Jamar Chase. He's my dream at number 11. Do I think he's gonna drop? No, but I would probably sit as long as we end up with Surtain or Farley. If we go corner, one of the top 3 wide receivers, Pitts or Parsons, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be unhappy on draft night. And I wouldn't even be unhappy if we drafted a top-tier tackle if they fell to us. I know. It's almost impossible for me to be upset with this pick.
Now, I know you said this. You would not be happy with this. Now, I did see and again, mock draft. These analysts, mock drafts are like the weatherman. And we all know that the weatherman, the last 3 times that I've got snow, they said we're going to get 6 to 10 or 8 to 16. They say we're going to get 8 to 16. We got 3 inches. They say we're getting 6 to 10, and we got a half an inch. And the time before, we were supposed to get like 8 to 12 inches, and we got an inch and a half. So they don't know anything. But I saw a mock today that mocked Greg Rousseau to the Giants. That you would not be happy with.
No, that I would not be happy with. And that could end up being a great pick. Let me preface it by saying that. He definitely has a lot of upside from everything that you hear the experts say, but first thing I'm going to say is I think the Giants, I say it all the time, I think the scheme that we run defensively, it is more important to have stronger corners, even though I definitely think we need an improvement there. You got to be able to cover to be able to blitz the amount that the New York Giants want to blitz. So I personally, especially in a draft like this, where it's not a rich edge rusher draft class, if this was a Chase Young level prospect, have at it. Or even a Josh Allen level prospect, have at it. Rousseau, everything that you hear, he's not technically skilled. He's got upside. He's 6'7". If he's basically Pierre Paul, but not as, in my opinion, not as high of an upside. Like Pierre Paul, we remember back to
he was not particularly gifted.
Pierre Paul was not the most polished edge rusher either. That was the book on him, and a lot of Giants fans were like, "Why did you take Pierre Paul? You have Michael Strahan, you got OC. No, at that time Strahan was gone, but you have OC, you have Tuck." And a lot of people, Kiwanuka, and a lot of people are like, why did you take an edge rusher? But we saw remember him doing the backflips with the pads on, and you saw the incredible athletic upside. I don't think he has that level athletic upside. I think he's got really high upside, but to me, it's not worth the gamble there. I would much rather go to address the offense. If I thought he was like worthy of, could be an incredible defensive player, I'd say have at it. I don't feel that about him.
See, I agree with you. Offense to me is what we got to go with 11. But I will say this about Greg Rousseau. He's raw. He's unpolished. Does a very high upside. The New York Giants, this coaching staff prides itself on teaching. This coaching staff prides itself on getting the most out of its players. Do you think that they look at a guy and his physical skills and say, I can coach this guy into a guy like Jason Pierre-Paul. I can coach this guy into a Pro Bowl edge rusher.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Giants, if they draft him, that will be the line of thinking. They'll be go ahead.
Go
ahead.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No. I was just going to reiterate what you said. So yeah, go ahead.
I'll get to that. I'll get to super chats in 1 second. I just want to. So, I think it's Jordan Renan.
Yeah.
God forbid if I don't give him credit for something. Says that I think it was him. Says the Giants love Kyle Pitts. What is your?
Then
take?
He went back on that statement, though.
It is him, though, right?
Yeah, it was him. Okay. And then he later retracted the statement, and he said something along the lines of,
Only if there's no receiver available.
I forgot what it was, but he said it was somebody that wasn't in the Giants organization that said it, or like not the Giants directly said it. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I mean it's hard not to like Kyle Pitts. So I'm not. I would imagine most teams like Kyle Pitts, so I'm not surprised by that.
I just didn't know what you. They all say they love Galladay. We're gonna see. It's gonna be fun, guys. I mean, as we get closer to this, it's gonna be awesome. Simon Z Brilly D-Jack's retiring today. Made my whole month. Just saying. Yeah, I saw the Eagles release him. I mean, honestly, Simon, he retired like 3 years ago. That guy hasn't been anything in the league in years.
Yeah, I think we all knew, especially with the Eagles cap situation and what he is as a player now and what he was making. He was being cut. So it was kind of like us with Tate. We know he's going to be cut. It's the same thing with DJ. So, but I'm glad he's gone. That guy gave me nightmares. So,
even since he went back to the Eagles, he was going to be a top 10 receiver.
But even how he sucks now. But even now, I still get scared when he's playing us because that guy he just always kills us. So I'm glad he's gone.
I'll be honest, Chris. The last couple, he didn't scare me. But any other time, even when he was in Washington, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He would get hurt. He'd have 2 catches, and they'd both be like 60-yard touchdowns.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he really didn't scare me the last couple of years because I knew the dude was never going to be on the field. But one of my most hated players of all time.
He is my most hated player of all time. I hate Deshaun Jackson.
He is up there for me.
Yeah.
Zuhaib. Brilly, man. Thank you for the super chat, my man. I really appreciate it. He says, Baddog, you do any mock draft videos for some fun content? Yes, I do. I usually do them after free agency, though. Last year, I think I did 4, and I just do the Giant stuff. I just don't have time to do an entire first-round mock. It would take a long time, and I don't have that kind of time.
Right now, to be honest with you, better right now, and they're fun to do, whatever. They're irrelevant right now. The mock drafts right now, I mean, they're always irrelevant if we're being honest.
Right.
But it's fun to do. I love doing them. I do them. But right now, you're literally just throwing darts at a board because you don't even know what the hell these teams' needs are going to be after free agency right now.
I mean, Zuhaib, I've done videos on who they should take in the first round. Like I've done videos on Devontae Smith. I've done videos on Kyle Pitts. I don't remember if I did one on Jalen Waddle or not, but I did a couple of videos like on their first pick. But at their free agency, yeah. Like I said, I think I did 4 last year. 4's enough. I don't need to do 10 of them. But maybe one of these streams, Chris, maybe one of these Talking Giants things after we and I know you did this last year. I'm not really exactly sure how to run this. I don't have 2 screens, which I really need to work on getting.
Yeah, right now I'm not. I'm gonna have to get a new laptop, and I'm probably gonna do it this week because I'm gonna want to do those live streams and my.
Right, you know what I'm talking about, the mock drafts.
Yeah. So maybe when we have it on my channel one week, we'll do that. But
right.
I got to get a new laptop so I could use the second screen because it doesn't charge when I use the adapter right now. But that's something I'm gonna probably do this week.
ENA, we got time, Brilly. I hope you enjoyed Turks and Caicos, brother. And if that was you on Instagram, and I think it was, I don't know anybody else that went to Turks and Caicos. I think you said you were going to Turks and Caicos. It looks awesome. I would love to go to Turks and Caicos one day. Can't go wrong with a guy from the U. Well, you can.
You can. You definitely can. You can, but it is a great university.
Abe Froman, Brilly. No DJ type reaction this year. No. That's like a. You're not going to get that every year. That was a.
That year, I said all the time, I was in love with Josh Allen. That had a lot to do with it, but it was also a quarterback. Like it was a shocking quarterback pick. That is a franchise changing type pick. So I think that had a lot to do with it. And I was shocked. I didn't expect it. So I think it was just a perfect storm, like a perfect scenario of where you could have that kind of reaction.
I think Shaw gave me this one before, but Shaw, there you're in the super chat, Brilly. Oh, Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, Blake Martinez, and Darnay Holmes. Scoop, there it is. Also, can we get Everson Griffin on the cheap? He's another older guy. I don't know. I mean,
I don't mind him on the cheap, but I also don't know how well he fits this scheme. I remember last year he was a possibility. I remember I think the Vikings released him, if I remember correctly, and he was a possibility. And I remember saying it then that he's a 4-3 guy. He doesn't really fit the scheme. He's older. If I was going for an older guy, actually a former Viking, I'm actually interested in Rhodes, the cornerback. He had a good year last year with the Colts. I think he could be a stopgap corner on a cheaper deal, but I just don't think that guy really fits our scheme, and he's old. So I'm not too much into Griffin.
Right. Me neither. Yeah. I think Melvin Ingram. on an older guy that may be cheap, that's probably more the guy that I would look at because I think he's more of a hybrid. I think he can play both. So, but again, I really don't want to bring in older defensive ends because the Giants are still in the middle of a rebuild, and to add veteran players is usually for teams ready to take the next step into competing for a Super Bowl. And I don't think we're there yet. I'd rather get superstar players at this point. We just can't afford them. But the older guys, I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to fill out a roster spot, it's probably not a bad idea. I've seen Breeze John ask this a few times. What do you think about Slater at 11?
Yeah, I've talked about that as a possibility, and I wouldn't be upset with it. I wouldn't. I'm not. It may not, and a lot of it is going to depend on how you set up the team ahead of time with free agency and who you draft in the second round. Like, do they get a really good wide receiver in the second round? Yada, yada, yada. But I'm not going to freak out. I'm a very big, I'm more pro offensive line than a lot of people. Like, I drive home offensive line. That's what I believe in. So I am almost never going to flip out if you take an offensive lineman in the first round. I think it's the smartest thing to do in the first round when there's not a prospect that you're head over heels in love with. They're long-term guys. And I am a trenches guy. That's where games are won and lost. So I will not flip out if they take Rashawn Slater. Right? It's a bookend. You're going to have him and Thomas on the ends for the next 10 years. That would be the plan, and you wouldn't have to worry about adjusting the offensive line for a long time. So I wouldn't flip out at all if they took
agree.
him.
Chris is a trenches guy, so if you see the guy in the back alley selling trench coats, you know who it is. Sabrina says, what if you guys take a quarterback? Well, I wouldn't flip my lid, and it might actually make half the Giants fan base happy, but they're not taking a quarterback, Sabrina. We ain't got to worry about that. There's
quarterback. Did she say corner or quarter?
Quarterback.
QB? I'd flip out. It's not going to happen, though.
I wouldn't flip out, but
yeah.
I wouldn't be happy about it because it just doesn't make sense.
I wouldn't have a Daniel Jones. It's hard to say what my reaction would be unless it happened, because that's why it's a reaction. But right. I think I would just be in shock. Like I would just literally be in shock, like silent. Like, what the hell just happened?
Nick the Wick, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says currently helping Dalvin T fix his computer. Yeah, right. Max Webster, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. Judge did say Jones is our guy. He may be talking about Mac Jones. Mac Jones at 11. He says, I'm just trolling. No, I'm just trolling. Mac Jones, somebody said the Eagles, it'd be funny. The Eagles are going to take Kyle Trask at 6.
I would love that.
What about the Cowboys taking Mac Jones? Do you think that's a possibility? That they don't bring back Dak and that they get Mac Jones?
I think it's possible. I think Dak's coming back no matter what. But I think he's coming back on the franchise tag.
Right.
And I think it's possible if they love, like Trey Lance, for example, because he's got a lot of upside. And if Trey Lance gets to them at 10, even though I'm not saying it's likely, I'm not saying I expect it, but if they franchise tag Dak this year, and they say to themselves, it'll be kind of like a Kirk Cousins situation where they franchise tagged him twice and then Washington let him walk, and they look at Dak the same way, and they're like, he's probably not going to be in the long-term plans, and they love a quarterback like Trey Lance, I could see them taking one. I could see it, yeah.
Right. I saw Matthew ask this a couple times. Where would DJ rank in this year's quarterback class? And I saw somebody said that he'd be the second best quarterback in this class. I don't believe that. I think he'd be the fourth best. I think he'd be behind Justin. And I don't like Ohio State quarterbacks. But like I said, if there's going to be, well, I should say he'd be better, the third best, because whoever the Jets take is going to be worse than Jones. It doesn't matter. That guy's going to fail. We all know that. Yeah. But honestly, and Trey Lance may be a question mark. But looking at if I'm just going by talent and film and everything else I've seen, and I haven't looked at Trey Lance so much, I can't say that Daniel Jones, if I'm being honest, would be better than Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. He doesn't have what they have. I would say he's the third best. I think he's better than Mac Jones. I think he's better than Kyle Trask. I have watched those guys play. I don't know enough about Trey Lance to compare Daniel Jones to Trey Lance. Like, I don't watch North Dakota State football. And Zach Wilson's another one. A lot of people love Zach Wilson. So maybe Daniel Jones. And again, I don't watch a ton of BYU. I just know he's a guy. People love Zach Wilson. There's talking about him going to the Falcons.
I like Zach Wilson.
There's talking about Zach Wilson going to the Jets.
Most people have him going to the Jets.
So maybe fourth.
Yeah, I like Zach Wilson. It's hard to say because it's so hard to say because right now we have a book on Jones. He's been in the league for a couple of years. It is really hard to say. Some people tell you to be higher. If I'm being honest, probably fourth, like Baddog said, third or fourth. I think I'd have him above Mac Jones. I'm not in love with Mac Jones. To me, he's not a very mobile quarterback. He's kind of an old school guy. I think he benefited greatly from playing at Alabama.
It helps.
I'd probably, yeah, either third or fourth. I think I'd have him in this year's draft.
You see Mac Jones going to the Patriots? You think he falls to 20?
Patriots are 15.
Or 15th, I'm sorry. You think
yeah, I think he could go to the Patriots. If they don't address quarterback before the draft, I think he could go to the Patriots, yes.
I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, I do. I definitely. Actually, I think in my first mock draft, I had him going. No, actually, no. I had him going to Washington in my first mock draft. I had Mac Jones going 19.
King Bell says Mac Jones has a better deep ball and is more decisive. Mac Jones plays at Alabama. You're not getting a better situation than that.
The wide receivers are literally wide open.
I was going to say, let's see what Mac Jones does if he's on a bad team, and then you can compare him. Daniel Jones was a fine deep ball. Daniel Jones it's not a problem. Daniel Jones is, like I said, his physical skills, not a problem. He doesn't need to throw as hard as John Elway. He just needs to make better decisions and be more decisive with what he's doing and just more confidence. I just want to see Daniel Jones have confidence. I want to see Daniel Jones stand tall in the pocket and have confidence in everything that he does, because when you're not confident and you hesitate for that split second in the NFL, it's too late. That was what happened on the 2-point conversion against Tampa. It was too late. Wayne Gallman was wide open. It's that quick. Whoops, I missed it. That's how fast it is in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Big 12 quarterbacks. A lot of them fail. Why? Because the Big 12 don't play defense. Because guys are running wide open down the middle of the field. And Baker Mayfield, let's be honest, Baker Mayfield had 12 seconds behind that Oklahoma offensive line. It's easy to succeed. So did Jalen Hurts. It's easy to succeed when you're playing against lesser competition, where you're playing against a team that may have 2 or 3 NFL players on it, as opposed to playing a team that has 53 NFL players on it. It's a big, big jump from college to the pros.
Yeah.
I'm not going
to and the other thing I'll say is, especially at the quarterback position, the draft in general, but especially at the quarterback position, where you're ranked as a prospect going into the draft doesn't mean jack shit. And we said it on the last year I was on before I came on here on the Hubs channel, is Tom Brady sucked as a prospect. Tom Brady sucked as a prospect.
Last pick in the 6th round,
190, whatever. It's what you like. Dwayne Haskins. Haskins had a lot of ability.
That's why I didn't like Dwayne Haskins.
So it's as much about to do with how hard you work when you get there, and the environment that you're put in. Are you put in an environment to succeed? I'll be the first to say Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. But if Tom Brady wasn't put in that situation, one, he probably never becomes what he was. And I'm not even giving that. I'm not saying he's a strictly a system quarterback and he might not have been great in other places. Belichick might have very well been the motivation that he needed to drive early on in his career. Like, you think about Pat Shurmur, you got guys falling asleep in meetings. Like, getting put in the right spot at the quarterback position has probably more to do with your success than anything else. So where you're ranked as a prospect to me means not nearly as much as what situation you get put in, sure, and what your work ethic is once you get put in that situation.
You got to work. Dwayne Haskins is not a worker. It's out. You can't just ride on your laurels into the NFL, because, again, the game is so much faster and the defenses are so much more complex. The closing speed of the corners and the linebacker, you don't see that in college. You just don't. And when you play on a team like Alabama, which is far superior to every other team, most of these guys that go early every guy that goes early in the draft is going to a bad team, or they would not be picking it. Once in a while, it's some kind of weird thing where the quarterback gets hurt, a la Peyton Manning, and the Colts ended up with Andrew Luck, or whatever. That type of thing happens once in a great while. But if you're drafted early, you're going to a bad team, and that's just how it goes. You're going to a team that needs a lot of work. And that's much different, because when you're drafted that high, you've been around a team that's really good in college, or you wouldn't be going that high, unless you're Daniel Jones, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I saw Waterfly, I think, say the first year he went to the Bucs, though he succeeded. Yeah, I'm not talking about Brady at 40 or 43. I'm talking about when he first came into the And I'm not trying to make it a Brady thing. He's just the greatest quarterback ever, and he was a horrible prospect coming in. There's a reason everyone passed up on him.
I can score faster than him. Well, we're the same age, but I know I could school him in the race.
Yeah. So, but I do think, and it's not a knock on Brady, I do think he got put into a great situation.
And I think he works.
He worked his ass off. And I think, and it's a combination of both. Pat Mahomes got put into an even better situation. Aaron Rodgers got put into a great situation. Like, I talk about how Rodgers throughout his career has been in a bad situation, but to start, he got put in as good of a situation as you can ask for. He sat behind Brett Favre for 3 years.
Yeah.
So I think, especially as a young quarterback coming into the league, that has more to do with your success than anything else. Being put in the right spot to succeed. That's just my opinion on it.
I agree. Evan Smith said Chris. Yeah, Chris has a potty mouth. They're going to wash his mouth out with soap after the stream. Abe Roman, Brilly says, I really love Terrence Marshall in the second if he's there, even if we take Pitts. Also like Jay Phillips in the second. Thoughts. A lot of people love Terrence Marshall.
I like him too. He's tall. He's 6'4".
Yeah, that's why I like Bateman too, but not at 11.
He's a good second round guy if we don't draft a receiver in the first.
Yep. A lot of guys like Terrence Marshall, but Abe, I'm with you. I'm willing to double dip on receivers, tight end receiver, definitely. Because like I said, I don't want any doubt that Daniel Jones either is or isn't the guy. I don't want to sit here and be, going back and forth, jump on this side of the fence, jump on that side of the fence, because that's what I'm doing right now with Daniel Jones. I'm over here. I can't make up my mind on Daniel Jones. Yeah. I can't. I want to know by the end of 2021, okay, he really can't do it even with all these weapons, or he was really bad because he didn't have these weapons and now he does, and now he's a top 10 quarterback. That's what I want to see. So I'm all for stacking the offense. And you guys know I'm a defensive guy. I mean, I'm always about the defense. But when you have a young quarterback that's going into last year of his rookie contract in 2022, you have got to know what this guy is. And you cannot go in there with any questions about, well, did we give him enough?
Right.
I'm fine with that. Arthur, thank you for the super chat. Double A. Brilly. Great to see the duo again. Dilly, Baddog, and Chris.
My man, Arthur. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, my man?
He's been hanging out in the Lakers streams as of late. Always good to see him there. I will be back again tomorrow night.
Yeah, I saw him the other night. He was in my stream the other night. Glad to see you, buddy.
Brady eats 3 pounds of blueberries a day. I don't blame him. I think I eat like 3 pounds of bananas a day. I freaking love bananas. Bananas are.
How many? Well, one banana is probably a pound, right? At least.
No, I don't eat 3 pounds of bananas. I eat 3 bananas a day, probably. Though.
And what does that equate to? A couple of, I would think that's at least 2 pounds.
They're not a pound. No. That might be.
I've been curling bananas. You're telling me it's not a pound?
No, it might be like, well, it depends. There's jumbo bananas. There's plantains. There's a bunch of different types of bananas. Maybe a jumbo banana weighs like 4 ounces. 5
What's
ounces.
a jumbo banana?
They're bigger bananas. I mean, it's
but I've never seen one of these. Are we talking
bigger? Like there's just bigger bananas,
like the size of the water bottle, the size of the microphone that we have. Like how big's a jumbo banana?
It's probably about the size of the microphone, not including the base. Pretty good size. Not that thick, just longer.
That's a big banana. And people are now going to edit this and make it seem like we were talking about something else.
Women seem like I'm not kidding. Great. Anyway, moving on. Grim Solo, they were to super chat. Brilly says Zach Wilson has a higher ceiling than Lawrence. I guess it depends on who you ask. I'm gonna disagree with that. I don't think he does either, but it depends on who you ask.
I'm going to disagree with that. I think, and I love Zach Wilson from what I've seen, but I think Trevor Lawrence's ceiling is through the roof.
Freaking banana thing. New York Giants 26 says Baddog plays hide the banana with his wife. Listen, after 21 years, there's no hiding anything. She knows everything. There's no hiding spots left. Go that way. It's been a long time. Been married a long time, man. It's no. She knows all the hiding spots. I have to change it up once in a while. What about that guy from Syracuse?
Oh, the corner. Everybody's been talking about him in my.
I don't want anybody from Syracuse ever.
Well, Marvin Harrison went to Syracuse.
Yeah, he's the exception.
He was pretty good.
I don't like Syracuse. I freaking hate Syracuse. Zanny says Bad Dog beating those jump. The bananas are good, man. Bananas are good. They're good for you, man. They help you stay hydrated. They're full of potassium. A little high in carbs though, but still, I mean, if you work out, you need your carbs. So bananas are good.
I like bananas.
Strawberries, huge. Strawberries are good. Pineapple's the best.
Pineapple might be my favorite fruit.
It is my favorite.
Yeah, I love pineapple.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Tommy McNabb went to Syracuse. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. We'll go over like another 5-10 minutes, and we'll call it a night. It is a bigger banana. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. But there's different sizes of bananas.
There are definitely different sizes.
There's just different sizes.
They come in all different sizes, shapes, forms.
Well, most bananas are the same.
They're all the same color. Well, sometimes the rotten ones are a little darker.
Yeah, and if they're not ripe, they're green. So,
right. You do have your green, and those are horrible because they're hard.
You can't eat them. They're not ripe.
We're going.
When they get rotten, you make banana bread with that.
Right.
That you don't ever throw away a dark banana, or they're really good in a protein shake because they get a little sweeter as they get a little bit more rotten. So yeah, the brown bananas, you throw those in the protein shake, you throw them in the banana bread. It's good stuff. Hey, we get talking about freaking bananas. Oh, this whole there. Well, I'm bananas, so I guess it makes perfect sense. It turns into talking nonsense stream here at the end. But I do appreciate all you guys and girls here tonight, man. We had almost 400 people in here in the dead of just nothing to talk about. So it's always I'm amazed at the amount of support this show gets, and obviously really appreciate it. You guys and girls are the best. Absolutely the best. I freaking love you guys and girls, man. You make it so much fun for me on YouTube. There's no doubt. I mean, I say it all the time. Every time I'm streaming, I should be sleeping, but I don't want to sleep. I want to hang out with you guys. You make it fun. You make it fun to be a Giants fan for sure. And I love hearing all your opinions. I love being able to discuss Giants football because everybody has a different opinion on what they think is going to make the team better. And like I said, we'll never always agree on what we think will make the Giants better or what will make them the best, but we will always agree that we want what's best for the Giants. So
most of us. I do feel like there's a very small portion of Giants fans that just want to be miserable.
Yeah.
And they, in the back of their day, most want them to be bad so they could complain. But I do agree about 98% of Giants fans want the team to succeed.
I told you. There's also some fans out there that say, this guy's going to suck. And then they root for him to suck to go. I told you he was going to suck.
Yeah, and they'll never admit it, but there are definitely fans out there that want the team to do bad so they could prove that they're right about it. But I almost don't consider them fans at that point. So
you can't.
Giants fans want the team to win at all costs, and it's just a matter of that we're all different. We all have different opinions of how we want to get there. I completely agree with that.
I would much rather say this guy sucks and go, boy, was I wrong.
Yeah,
I would much rather be that guy.
Yeah,
I have no. That's also part of it. Some people just can't admit when they're wrong. I don't know why. I've never understood why somebody can't admit they're wrong. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that. Listen, my ego is pretty. Listen, I'm a pretty confident guy. Okay, but I have no. Well, then again, I'm married. So when you're married, you have to learn to admit you're wrong. I'm going to give you a quick bit of advice, all you single guys out there. And if you want a successful relationship with your lady, I'm going to give you 4 words that you must know. And if you learn these 4 words, you will have a successful relationship. Trust me. Those 4 words are, you're right, I'm sorry. You learn how to say that, you're golden. Even when she isn't right, you just tell her she is.
Yeah. Well, she's at least half the time, but don't let them know
my
that.
wife's right about 90% of the time. I'm not going to fight. I'm not. My wife usually knows her shit, but when she's wrong, oh, I'm like, can I record that? Can you? I'll mark it down. Okay, yeah, that's right. Remember the time 4 years ago when I was right the last time and you weren't? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Charlie, thank you for the super chat. Really, I'd much rather take Pitts at 11 than someone like Diami Brown in the second round or third than Waddle at 11. And someone like Diami Brown and in the second or third than Waddle 11. I'm with it, Charlie. I'm a Pitts guy.
We'll see if Pitts is there. You know, we keep assuming that Pitts is going to be there. We'll see if he's there.
When we're talking about the draft, Chris, we have to assume that everybody's going to be there, right?
Yeah. You just say who you want the most.
Let me ask you this. And again, a lot of things with free agency, and I know we're just shooting arrows into the air here. We're throwing darts like the meteorologists. Hey, 8 inches of snow. Whoops, I missed. Who do you think the Giants are going to take?
The guy I mocked in the first mock draft. And that's as of now. That may change, but Smith, I think Devontae Smith's going to fall to us. I think we're going to take him.
Okay. I think we're taking Kyle Pitts. Yeah, I'm just pipe dreaming.
No, we might. We definitely might.
The Eagles are taking a quarterback. I'm worried about. I don't think Pitts is going before Dallas. Dallas is the team that worries me. Even though
you really think Dallas could take Pitts with all their weapons?
I think that they could.
Yeah.
Although they'd be smart to take Micah Parsons.
They shouldn't take Pitts.
Or Greg Rousseau.
Or a corner. They need a corner.
That's Surtain.
Yeah.
Right?
They shouldn't take Pitts, but they could. I mean, they took CeeDee Lamb last year. They probably shouldn't have. They had a lot of other
Pitts to keep him from us. They took CeeDee Lamb to keep him from Philly.
Yeah, it's possible.
We're getting Pitts. New York for life, really brilliant. We're getting Galladay and Pitts, and Daniel Jones we're gonna win the division. And yes, people are gonna stop saying we suck. Damn it, I'm sick of sucking. New York for life, really. Being a Mets fan is like a guy bringing home a girl named Samantha, and in the morning finding out Samantha is really single.
That's never happened to me yet. But I do get the comparison.
Let's hope that doesn't happen to you. I don't think I could ever be drunk enough to mistake a man and a female.
Well, you would feel the banana.
Yes. Well, I've always said this about the drinking and the beer goggles. Listen, man, I've always said a girl can definitely get more attractive the more you drink. There's no doubt about that. But you can't get any thinner. So your arms are either going around or they're not going around or they're going around a certain amount. No matter how much you drink, your vision can get impaired,
right,
but your arms can't get impaired.
Right.
It's the same kind of thing. Like you can feel, you just can't see.
Right.
I've had to chew my arm off the next morning a couple of times. And what the hell did I do? I didn't call me Baddog for nothing. I say it all the time. Simon Z, brilliant. What the hell did this go to? Really, how big are we talking about here? Y'all, I should have never bought bananas. We're going to start talking about bananas in the next street.
We're just messing with you guys.
We have to.
Yeah.
Somebody actually put in the community notes today, said, I needed a good Baddog and Up Tainah comedy stream. Well, we love to talk about the Giants, but we like to try to keep it entertaining, keep you guys and girls.
The dead times you got to bring a couple of laughs.
Somebody now asking what's our favorite vegetable, and he said a carrot. No,
my favorite vegetable. I'm trying to think what my favorite vegetable.
I'm surprised you didn't put a cucumber there.
yeah. What's it? It's not an eggplant, guys. I'd probably go with. I'm not a big tomato guy. I like broccoli. I'll go broccoli.
I was going to say the same thing.
I'll go broccoli. Yeah, I'll go broccoli.
Broccoli's good. But guys, this is 12:17. We've been live for like 2 hours and 50 minutes. Gonna get out of here for the night again. Just want to say, Chris, always appreciate you coming on the channel. I love this show, man. It's a lot of fun. Even like I said, even in the dead of football where there's just nothing to talk about at all as far as we're going this year, and that's a good thing. Last year we're going through a lot of transition. We had a lot to talk about, but it's a good thing when you don't have that. It's obviously it's good for content, but it's not good for the team. But you guys and girls are phenomenal, and again, I can never say it enough. I am going to. My plan tomorrow is to. I said I was going to do a video about my 50K and getting to 50,000 subscribers. We're almost at 51,000 subscribers now, which is insane. But I was going to. I want to do a video about that. So, I'm going to obviously do a lot of thank yous in that video. I want to thank you guys again for the 24-hour stream. We raised $950 for St. Jude's, which is unbelievable. So I want to talk about that. So I am going to do that tomorrow. That's my plan. I'm also going to say this. I know I always say when I'm on vacation, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. That's always my plan. But even when I'm not working, I have a 4-year-old. So it's hard to, I don't bring him to the babysitter when I'm home. There's no reason to do that. I like spending time with him. It's when I do get to spend time with him, I like it. And when I'm on vacation, I have a lot of time to spend with him, which is great because I don't always get it. So I did plan on doing a lot of things. Like I wanted to put videos on my other fitness channel and I wanted to do this and that. And I just didn't get to do it. So you got to forgive me for that. But, I appreciate you hanging with me. That is my plan tomorrow. It's going to be a longer video. That's why I'm going to premiere. It'll probably be half an hour, 40 minutes. But again, I can't thank you guys enough. My channel and Chris's, I can't speak for him, but It's unbelievable between us. We have like 90,000 subscribers. We started this together. We might have had 3,000 between us.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
So I owe all that to you guys and girls. And I owe a lot of it to you, sir. So I appreciate the hell out of you guys and girls, man. You make my day. I don't know what to say. When I'm having a crappy day and it happens, I mean, come down here and stream and I forget all about it. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, I'm not at 50 yet, but I never thought I'd be near where I am now, and it all goes to
50 yet either, Chris. I'm 44. Oh, you meant subscribers.
Subscribers.
Oh, God, don't age me.
But I never thought I'd be where I am now, and I can't say thank you enough to everybody.
Sponsor, baby.
I got a sponsor. Yeah, I got a sponsor. I can't believe, and we're not going to get into that, maybe off camera, but I can't believe that I got to the point where people approached me to pay me to place their ad on my channel. So, like, without you guys, that doesn't even become a fraction of a possibility. So I can't say thank you enough to everybody that supports, both of us, and without Baddog, like he said about me, my channel's not near where it is. Obviously, our popularity grew because we work with one another. And I think a lot of people, I say it all the time, I think a lot of people on YouTube take it the wrong way. Like they look at it as a competition. And that's what I said to Baddog. I think when we first started working with each other, I think people take it as a competition. I think people don't try to build each other up. They try to tear each other down. And I think that's the wrong way to go about doing it. I think as you grow, others will grow with you. I think that's the way you build up a community. And I think that's why we've grown. I think people have seen that and they want to be a part of it. And you guys are a part of it. You guys are our channels. So I can never say thank you enough to everybody that supports both of us, even in the deadest of times like right now. And like we've been saying the whole stream, it's going to pick up in a couple of weeks, and we're going to have a ton to talk about. But
a lot of fun too.
Now,
I'm looking forward to that draft so much. I know, it's funny that 2 months seems like it's so far away. And before you know it, it'll be like draft. I can't wait. That was so much fun last year. Now, of course, last year it was a different situation. We didn't have sports for like 6 weeks, and then we had that. But regardless, I'm looking forward to that. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait.
No doubt about that. And I can tell you this, guys, and I've said this a number of times. I'm sure that during that 3-day period, the Lakers are going to be playing, but the New York Giants always take precedence on this channel over everything. So even if the Lakers are playing, I'm gonna have to miss a game. It's going to happen. Even if it's a playoff game, it's going to happen. Last year they didn't run into each other, but this year that may happen. But it's okay. You can forgive me for one game. I will not let go of them. But you know what I'm saying. The NFL draft is 90% of my channel's Giants.
NFL draft, you got to do the NFL draft.
I'm not
but yeah, no, I could go on for hours. But I could never say thank you enough to everybody that spent. And like I said, times like this is when we really need it because I got nothing to talk about. Like I hate going 2 days, 3 days without making a video, but I also don't want to force it, and I don't want to make like I see people. How many hypothetical videos you guys want to watch? Like I see channels making, oh, what if they do this? What if that? And I try to sprinkle in when there's nothing to talk about. But I appreciate you guys, man. Continue to watch, the videos that we do produce and the streams that we do make. And yeah, man, you guys keep us afloat. You guys keep us motivated to keep working as hard as we do on YouTube. So you're the reason that we've grown the way that we have, not us. It's because of you.
I say it all the time, man. It's your channel. I just host it. And that's pretty much it. Rolly, no, I'm not going to do a video about Karner signing a 1-year, $4 million. I'm happy that Karner went back to the Yankees, but it's not a huge move. Like the Yankee stuff will definitely come as the season starts. I did do the video on DJ LeMahieu because that was huge. The Yankees needed to get DJ LeMahieu back. But like I haven't done videos on outside of that. The Yankees have made some okay moves, but they haven't really made a big splash this year. They just Jay Bruce, obviously Jamison Tyon, all that stuff. Corey
By the way, we're talking about baseball real quick. Mets made a great move today. Taijuan Walker. That was a great signing by the Mets. It's an underrated signing. I loved it. 2 years, $20 million. Good pitcher, 3.84 ERA in the American League. I'm happy as a Met fan. Really good signing today by the Mets. Yeah,
good. They finally did. So we'll see each other in October, right?
Hopefully it's us and you in the World Series.
Let's meet up in October. We tried to make that date last year. It didn't happen. But,
Yeah.
let's get it done. Anyway, guys, we are going to get out of here. So I just want to say again, Chris, thanks for coming on the channel. And for the entertainer Talkin Sports, it's a bad diggity dizzle. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. We are gone. Peace.